Hey boys, we're
from Saturday night.
3/4 of a century.
It's New York.
It's like 20th century times 2.25. Oh, I didn't have my notes.
Yeah. I win.
Win by default.
4G Audio Podcast brought to you by the fucking Basement Weirdos.
Hey,
I'm Styles the Prophet. We got motherfucking B-Show in the house.
what's up, everybody?
On the podcast ones and twos, we got that motherfucking Jonesy.
Yeah,
Gang,
what up?
gang. And tonight we got an in-house motherfucking guest for the first time in a little while.
Yeah.
Got our good buddy Sarzin.
We actually have sports to talk about.
Yeah. This shit going down. Oh man, actually, you know what? Today the highway was crazy because people are out and doing shit.
Yeah.
It's nice to see, man. Like, I actually, like,
It
you know,
is, though,
like,
to see people out for sure.
yeah, and actually enjoying the nice weather that we've
You know
been
what
having.
isn't nice, though? Fucking traffic.
Daily, eh?
It wasn't too bad today, actually.
It wasn't that bad today. It wasn't that bad yesterday, but the day before, it was a little backed up.
Some fucking douche probably got into a car accident or
Yeah.
Maybe not
stalled in
today.
a car or something.
Maybe not tomorrow.
You guys
thing.
see all that
But someday.
construction going on
Where? All of it?
in the middle of the highway?
Yeah, the 2-lane shutdown that they got going on.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of different fucking
Crazy.
construction today, though.
It's
going on all over the city.
Highway.
It is, man.
It is, man. Yeah, because, like, you know, if you're a fast driver, you know, and
Who doesn't drive?
people who drive seriously 20 kilometers under the speed limit.
You're getting good pops tonight, boys.
Good pop, bro.
Man, one time actually,
Let's
I gotta
crank
tell you
them.
this.
Apartment pop.
So,
Basement pop.
where the fuck's my beer at?
Cheers, then.
Dope, bro.
Happy Friday, yo.
Styles, you got a beer?
So actually, speaking of pop, so I got a story. So,
Story time.
Cheers to all you guys watching right now.
Cheers. Good to see you.
so one of my buddies, he's like originally from like Munster, I think, or like Stittsville, or like something like that, or both, maybe even. But shout out Stecky Gang Gang.
Hey.
So then he moved to Renfrew, and me and him became good friends. He was like, it's hard because like it's a small town, so everyone's like Hicks and shit, and like he was like matching do-rag, hat, jersey, matching t-shirt and jersey,
Yeah.
like
This
shorts,
motherfucker
like
out there.
everything. He had the like hardwood classics, jersey, shorts, hat, all matching for like everything, like all different colors, all different people and everything. But anyways, so like a lot of people didn't really accept him. Like he was just like super gangster, I guess.
Right.
But anyway, short story long is me and him were like really good friends. We met at football and shit. Do you smoke? Yeah. Can I have a smoke? Yeah, for sure. I give him a smoke. He's like, do you smoke weed? I'm like, yeah, for sure. We go to the park, smoke a bunch of weed and shit. We go back to the school, and he's like, his mom picks him up. He's like, hey, mom, can you drive? What's your name? But anyway, so now back to the pop thing. So we were like going for like somebody's birthday or something like that at the Prior in Arnprior. Get some like wings and beer and shit.
Yeah.
So we were there hanging out, and like, so he ends up seeing one of his buddies that's like from Montreal, like him and this guy and his brother are from Montreal,
Okay.
and so he goes, yeah, hey, like this is my buddy Justin, or what? I think it was Justin. And actually, the guy was cool as fuck. He had like kind of like fluffy afro-y hair, but it was like tied back, like is it Busy Bone with the fucking like it's like a ponytail, but it's all like
From Bone Thugs?
yeah, but it's all like fluffy, you know. But anyway, so then he had like this big fucking baggy. This is many years ago, right? So it's all
Yeah.
baggy clothes, right? So he had this big baggy fucking button-up shirt that was red, but it was like a red bandana print on it and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy was like, you know,
Yeah.
like didn't belong in Arnprior either, you know? And like, so anyways, and like neither did we, like just the look of us and shit. So then fucking buddy's like, we walk by him, I think, and they're like, oh hey, and they start talking, like, hey, what's up? Yeah, and he goes, oh, like this is my buddy Styles, and we're like, oh hey, what's up, man? And we kind of like lean in and fucking dap each other, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But we like grab each other's hands, right? And it's just like this, man. In this fucking bar, like even louder, man. It's in this bar.
Yeah.
And everyone just stops and looks at us. And we're like, hug and like, yeah, what's up? Oh shit. But he was like, nice pop, man. Nice pop. I'm like, yeah, fucking right.
Powerful handshake.
Yeah. Had everybody in the room looking at us and shit. But yeah, no, I don't know why I thought of that.
That's your
the
homie
pop
Stecky?
thing.
Apartment
Yeah.
Stecky, yeah.
Basement pop.
Yeah, my buddy Stecky lives down Brampton, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. He's good shit. He took me to the fucking, it's called Georgia Peach. It's like a dispensary or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he's got like a membership at this one. It's called MMJ, and like so he goes in there, and like I went in with him, but they like made me stay at the door, and like you have to show your card and like go in.
Oh yeah.
But they like bring you in, and like it's like a dispensary. Like normally you go up to the thing, and they, what do you want? And this has this, and they explain everything. But like if you really didn't know what was up, like if you didn't go in and you're like, I want shatter and I want this or whatever, then they'd like bring you into a room and be like, okay, like, you know,
Explain
what do you
things.
want?
They
And like
give you a
how, like,
tutorial.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they like
cool.
break it all down for you and shit. And like whenever you first actually go there, you have to like sit with like, I don't know if he's a doctor or not, but you have to sit with somebody and get your like, it's not like a license for the government, but it's like a license to like go.
Doctor.
It's like to go, but it's just a card to be able to like go into the building basically. But no, so we went there, or he went there, and then me and him went to this Georgia Peach place, and fucking they had a bunch of shit, man. It was cheap too. Like fucking their shatter was pretty cheap. I think it was like $20 a gram if you bought like 5
Wow.
or whatever, right? Like it was
Okay.
like 100 for 5 or something.
Yeah.
That's decent.
They had like these little fucking moon rock joints, so it had like moon rocks in it and shit. And they were fucking, I think they were like $20, but it was like 2 for 15 each or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But anyways, either way, I remember going to that place and was like, this place is fucking awesome. Like it was like everything was so cheap and shit. It was so good. But there was a couple of them in Hamilton there. I don't even. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even know why I'm saying this, but yeah.
You have two buddies that live down that way, right?
So
because whenever you were taking the Via Rail,
I was going to Sarnia.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But you did go to Brampton one. Well,
Oh,
the
that
story
was-
you were just talking about, right? When you hit up all the dispensaries.
That was. Oh wait, did
Or
I
was
say
that
Brampton, Burlington? I went to
Okay.
Brampton 2 years ago with Adam to go to. We went to. Oh man, that's actually another story. I'm going to tell you this story. Actually,
Yeah,
okay.
let's
So,
get into
so we were going to Wonderland, and then like his daughter. So like he's originally like he like moved around a lot. His dad's like in the
Military?
Navy or something.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think we have a Navy, but it's like
Uh,
either.
Canada has a name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, but it's just not. I don't think it's called the Navy.
well,
But either way, he's like that type of shit, right?
Royal,
Like,
no, it's the Royal Canadian Navy. I
is
believe.
it? Yeah, okay, yeah. So it wasn't either way. It wasn't the military. It was like something else, right? Either way, so he went and fucking like. So they moved around a lot, right? So then they like lived in Renfrew. I actually dated my buddy's sister for a while, and then they like moved to Niagara Falls. So like the reason why I'm saying this is because so my buddy had a child down there, and like she's like much older now, and like so she was down in like Fort Erie or something like that, like visiting one of her friends
Okay.
from whenever she was like younger. And me and him were gonna go, and like this was just totally separate plan, but we were just like, well, while we're down there, we'll see if she wants to come home. She was there for the summer type shit,
okay.
and she didn't end up coming home. But that's just to explain why we were going to Niagara Falls.
Right, yeah,
so we
yeah.
were like, let's go to fucking Wonderland. And then his buddy was in Brampton. He's like, we'll visit buddy in Brampton, and then we'll go to Niagara Falls and do some shit there, and then like go to Fort Erie and pick her up and come back, right?
Yeah,
So anyway, so we go to we went to Brampton first, and Brampton's like past it's past Vaughan, which is
Yeah.
where Wonderland is.
Yeah.
So we go past there, right? Because we were like, okay, we're looking for a place to stay and shit, and we're like, okay, instead of like going and like staying in Vaughan, where it's probably going to be like a little more expensive too,
Yeah. and
but
for
also
sure.
it was the fact that we didn't want to like have to rush through Wonderland and then go like visit his buddy and like maybe stop in for like 2 minutes and
Right,
leave or whatever,
yeah.
because we were trying to go from Wonderland to Niagara Falls, right? So we decided we would go to the Friday night. We would go to Brampton, and we would stay there, and we would wake up in the morning and hang out with his buddy, and then go to fucking Wonderland.
Right.
So now we go to fucking Brampton. We're like, fuck it, let's push through. We'll go to Brampton. It's like late and shit too, right? Like
Yeah.
it's definitely like at least midnight, but probably later, right?
Yeah.
And so we're like getting into Brampton, and we're driving, and I'm like kind of looking at shit, and like I'm the kind of guy too. Like I don't want to just walk into a place and be like, "Here, I'm staying here."
Yeah.
I'm gonna
yeah.
like look at prices and shit,
Right.
right? So we drive by this place. It's called the Marigold, and and I believe I'm pretty sure, and so we drive by, and I'm like, okay, it's like a motel, but it's like there's a building in the back that has like a walkway in the front of it, you know what I mean?
Okay,
So
yeah.
there's like 2 levels sort of thing, but
Yeah,
it's like a motel, right?
Okay.
But then there's like an actual building that has like a hallway inside of it and like an elevator and stuff all inside of it in the middle, right? So point is it looks like half decent, you know, and like the outside of it was like really nice. It's like all brick and like nice lights and like looked like it had just been redone. So I'm like, okay, that looks all right. Let's keep going. So
Curb appeal is good.
There you go, exactly. Yeah. So we start driving. We're driving around. He's like, man, I just want to like sleep, man. And I was like, okay, like we'll just get whatever, man. So then I'm like trying to look on my phone, and I think I was having trouble with my data or something like that. So then we like pull over, and I think we got Wi-Fi or some shit. So we're like trying to figure this out. And I'm like, hey, there's this one, and there's this one, and like, oh, there's this and whatever. And I'm like, they all like look shitty, you know. And so he's like, oh, I found one here, and it was like decent price compared to all the other ones and shit. And he's like, yeah, we'll go to this one, right? So he like sets his fucking GPS or whatever, and I'm like, so yeah, like what's it called? He's like, the Marigold. And I'm like, oh, I know where that is. Like we drove past him. Like it actually does look pretty decent on the outside. Like we can sleep there at least, right? So we go in, and like when you like walk in the door, you see like the lobby sort of thing. And you're like, oh, like, that's pretty nice.
Nice, yeah.
And then you like turn around, and there's like the desk and shit, and then like the hallway to go to the elevator and shit. And like the lobby looked nice, but like everything else was like pretty shitty looking.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. And there was like people around that were like not like I've judged them for sure, but they didn't look great. Like there was like a girl that was probably there for business type shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like so we're like, okay, fuck it, like we're here now, and like I just want to go and like sleep and shit. Let's just do it, right?
Of course, yeah.
And like I said, it was pretty cheap and shit. So anyways, we get on the elevator, and like the elevator was like, it wasn't like bad, it just was like, it didn't seem nice. Like it was like industrial elevator kind of, you know, like it was just like this will take you up.
It felt cold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then we go up, we're like, okay, cool, and like it's like pretty nice, but like looks just basic, right? So I'm like, yeah, I know where we're at now, you know?
Yeah.
So we go in the place, and it's like I'm pretty sure there was like an old wooden like tube TV and shit. Like it was like old school and shit. There was like burn holes all around the fucking sink and shit. From like cigarettes that had clearly like burnt across the fucking
people put
thing.
their smokes down while they're heating up their heroin.
Yeah, exactly, right? I'm like, okay, so this is fucked, right? So then I'm seeing them on the floor and shit. There's just burn holes everywhere, right? And like it's no smoking, I'm pretty sure. And so then like we're like, okay, cool, whatever. Like I rolled a joint, and he's like, I'm just going to bed. So he turned on the TV, and fucking I went and smoked this joint. So fucking I go outside and I smoke this joint. So I walk outside. No, so I go down the elevator, and there's this guy on the elevator, gets on the elevator with me, and he's wearing like, do you remember those like, be like a mesh back hat, but it'd be like super curved, but it was like furry. Like it was like, I think Von Dutch made one, but it was like furry. The peak and like the front part were like furry. So he had like one of those, but it was like an older dude. Like the dude was probably like almost 60, maybe older.
Oh, okay.
But he looked like he was Italian dude, fucking nice, like leather jacket, and like gold chain.
So he's into fashion.
And like, and like has this
for the lady of the evening.
he had this duffel bag with him, right? So now I'm like, okay, like
putting it
now
together.
I'm like for sure in a like not great place, and I just want to sleep and go home. And so anyway, so me and him walk out together, and this parking lot is like a U. So whenever I walk out, I'm at like the top of the top right U, right? So like it's a bunch of cars in the middle, and then like cars around, and then like there's a driveway around the thing. So he goes into the back kind of, and I go into the front and stand between some cars, and I'm smoking this joint. So while I'm standing there, these two guys come out and stand on the fucking front little step thing, and like they're like kind of scaring me, and they just are like not great looking dudes, right? Like just picture the place I'm in, right? So anyway, so I'm sitting there smoking this joint, and I see this. I'm making this way longer than it needs to be. It's just, but so I'm standing there, and I'm like I'm out kind of by the sidewalk, and so I'm smoking this joint, and I see this car like pull in real quick, like as if they're like, what's that guy doing? Or like, you know, whatever, right? And like, it's like they saw me and they pulled in real quick.
Like there's the cops.
So I'm like, what's going on? So then he parks like on the other side of the U, and he stays there. So then one of the dudes that was on the step walks across, and Buddy gets out of the car, and they shake hands and shit, and they talk and stuff. And then the guy just walks back in, and the two guys go into the thing, or into the hotel, and then Buddy drives away. So I'm smoking this joint, and now like this is distracting me, and I've totally forgot about the guy I just saw in the elevator like 5, maybe 10 minutes ago, right? So I'm like finishing this joint, and on this side of the U, like closer to the hotel, I turn and I look, and this big like brand new truck pulls up, and like stops, and I'm like, there's the guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
what was he doing in the back for like 10 minutes or whatever, right? All I could think was maybe he had a duffel bag of cash and he was
Yeah,
counting or whatever.
right. Yeah.
So anyways, now this is like maybe where he was coming from, possibly. But so we noticed that the fucking, and I was up for a bit watching TV and shit, right? And so we had a door connecting us to the next hotel, right? And so I would hear like, and the doors were like it's like the thing that pulled them closed was fucked, so it would like slam them shut, right?
Oh, okay.
And so fucking
I always thought that was the creepiest thing, by the way, is that like motel rooms
connecting.
connect.
So
Yeah,
can
well,
get,
it's so
where
you
you
could
can
get-
get connecting rooms. Yeah.
yeah.
They
No,
lock
but
the in between
Like,
door
parents
usually,
can
right?
sleep
You
in
can.
one and fill the
Man, I remember getting a
Okay,
motel
it's
room and just like doing that credit card trick.
Yeah.
But still,
Trying to
Yeah,
get in.
yeah.
Oh man.
But like, think about it. I'd rather have like a full wall separating me from some stranger.
Well, and
Absolutely.
even too, like even in this story, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't want to go to sleep with that. Like they have an access point to this
Yeah.
fucking door, right? Or to this room, right? And so like, yeah, so we're sitting there, and like I think we were, because by now, like whenever I'm done the joint, I go back inside, like he's asleep. So I think we were hanging out a bit before I went out, and so we would hear like the phone on the fucking thing ring, right? Like now, unless they had like a fucking ringtone like that,
Right.
we hear
Yeah.
the phone ring. We hear like just like voice, right? And then we hear the phone ring, and then we hear voice, then we hear the phone ring. And like I said, this is like late at night, right? So we hear the phone ring, and I hear like 3 times, maybe 4, whatever, and like each time a quick conversation happens, and then I'd hear like bang, and it was the door slamming shut. I'm like, okay, like that guy's going to sell the drugs, right?
Yeah.
So then later on, same thing keeps happening, right? Like phone, bang. So then now I'm like starting to fall asleep. So the banging was so loud
Yeah.
that like when I heard it when I was starting to fall asleep, I thought they were coming into the room.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
you
So I would
told-
wake up and be
yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
So then I fucking pass out for a bit.
Ah.
And then I wake up again because it'd be them coming back
Yeah.
in or something, because it sounded like, because it's obviously hitting the wall and shit, right?
Mhm.
So it sounds like the fucking door either coming open really hard, like our door, or
Yeah.
slamming really hard. So I'm like, ugh. And at the same time too, I'm going to sleep thinking, you know, like there's
Yeah.
access and shit, and like these
Exactly,
guys are
yeah.
doing something bad, right?
It's
And like
probably-
all
it's
this
probably
shit,
like
right?
the air pressurizing in the room.
Yeah, it's like
pulling
the door.
back to
Yeah.
frame, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it was the
happens.
fucking the way that those things were, the little bracket that closes it. Even ours was like that too. It would like slow close or slowly close, and then it would be bang, and
Yeah.
like slam shut at like the last little bit. But yeah, and the other thing too was the way that the latch on the door would hit. Like you had to like hit it hard for the latch to open a bit, you know. So it
So
was like,
he was just being a prick, really, and not properly closing.
Oh, yeah,
the
if
door
you, like,
and
hold it
fucking
and, like,
loud
yeah.
sound. Man, I fucking
in the
hate-
middle of the fucking night, and like, man, like I said, it was clearly like they were doing some drug deals and shit, right?
I
Like, what
fucking
the
yeah.
fuck,
hate
man?
people who don't have the courtesy to fucking like actually like hold down the button on the door, or twist the knob, and like politely
Yeah.
close.
Well,
the
if you
fucking-
if you're in
Yeah.
that situation where you
People
know you
that
have to be
slam the
quiet.
fucking doors shut, especially like in my house. Like, get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck out.
Man, like
Yeah,
your
well, you-
bathroom, Brandon.
Yeah.
Your bathroom, I find, like, especially like if everyone's sleeping and shit, right?
Yeah.
It's hard, like, because it's the latch doesn't push right, so you gotta
Yeah.
like push it
Push it,
hard or
yeah.
whatever. So I always like turn the knob and like push it in and like
Press the
turn
door.
it back,
and
like,
then,
or like the one in the like, well, in like
spare
Stevie's room now or
yes,
whatever,
yeah,
yeah.
Stevie's room.
Because I'd sleep in there, right? And so like have the door closed,
That
whatever.
one was a big
And
one.
I go to open it, and as soon as you turn it, go doof
Crack,
and flies
yeah,
open,
yeah.
right? So I'd have to hold it in and turn the knob and then like let it
Let
go.
it go, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that door is hard to close too. Like if you're trying to close it, you really gotta give it some force. That
Fuck,
one.
how did we get to that hotel story? Holy shit.
You're just telling us.
Yeah.
your
You went on a
stories
wa-
about
yeah, you went on a-
traveling to Brampton or Burlington.
Oh, because you were asking me about
Yeah,
about Brampton and
Yeah,
shit. And I was
kinda
just saying,
need you to
yeah.
I
Elaborate.
stopped
Well-
asking the question of how you divulged.
Well, yeah. Well, then the other thing is too is so then like, and then also too the burn holes are like look on the bed, and like, you know how like on the sometimes on a bed they'll have like just like a random, like I usually throw it off, but it'll be like some kind of weird blanket, like it's kind of like stiff fucking
Yeah,
whatever.
usually stiff.
On the top,
Yeah.
and then you throw that away, and then be like your comforter and like sheet and shit.
Totally.
So like that had a hole in it, and then there actually I don't think there was a comforter, and then the fucking so I'm like, yeah, like threw it away. I'm like, I'll just use the blanket or the sheet or whatever, because I
Yeah.
find in hotels I'm usually hot and shit.
yeah, no
But
doubt.
short story long again, anyways. But yeah, so there was a burn hole in that. Threw that away. Fucking okay. Well, open up the sheet and shit. Well, there's a burn hole in the fucking like bed sheet.
Oh no
On the
way!
thing and shit, I'm like, holy shit, man! Like, but yeah, it was bad. And then
No
so
one
then
giving
we
a
go
fuck.
and meet his buddy the next day,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, where'd you stay?" I'm like, oh, the Marigold. And he's like, oh, that's downtown. Or I don't know if he said downtown, but he said like, that's
Like
south,
a
or that's
hub
like this.
spot,
Like, yeah. And I was like, well, like, is that bad? He's like, oh, that's the worst. Like, I was like, oh, fuck. Well, we had drove like probably right to like where he lives, basically.
Yeah.
And like toured around and then turned back and went way back to this
Oh,
spot.
shit.
So it was like we like went back to the bad spot,
Oh, no
basically.
way.
Like, yeah. But yeah,
What a
fuck.
story.
Down in like the worst neighborhood in town.
Yeah, we got a quick nap and we fucked off.
No
But-
doubt, man.
Niagara Falls, quick side note though, Niagara Falls was crazy that night because it was like summer. Like, man, if it's the middle of the summer, you're not getting a hotel in Niagara Falls. Like
Right.
almost no matter, like I shouldn't say no matter what, but like
booking, right?
like yeah,
Like, in
exactly.
advance.
Like it's gonna be hard, right? But this weekend was like bike weekend or like I think it was bike weekend or something, but there was some big thing
like
going
ride for
on.
dad or something.
Yeah, and so like we were going, like we'd show up at hotels, be like, "What do you got?" Nothing. Calling hotels. We went to this bar and we ended up hanging out at this bar. A side note, actually, again, was my buddy ended up meeting this guy, and he's like, "Man," he's like, "I know this guy," and we played pool with him and shit.
Sick.
The bar stayed open for us, fucking.
No way.
And there was a bunch of other people there, but they were like, "Oh," because we were like, "We need a place to chill and shit." And she's like, "If you buy drinks, like I'll stay open." So everyone else was like,
That's
"Yeah,
sick.
thanks,
Yeah.
guys, whatever." But anyways, yeah, we ended up finding one hotel, and I think there was 2 rooms in it. And actually, there was another one, but the guy was charging like $500 a night or something like that
Wow.
because he knew.
Oh, yeah.
He
The
looked like the
demand.
type of guy too. Like he knew like. I have what you fucking need right now.
Yeah.
And again, too, once we got to Niagara Falls,
Supply and demand.
it was
It's a
another
bitch.
late night, like trying to find a spot. But any motherfucking
Just
way.
hustling beds.
Yeah, fuck. We ended up getting one for like half the price, I think, and it was like, man, we could like spit on the fucking casino, and like if you looked out
That's sick.
across, like we had to go outside for this, but if you looked out across from our hotel, it was like the main like big like highway or whatever, like I don't know highway, but like a big road, and then on the other side was like the water and shit.
Yo, you know what I never thought of? Just you mentioning casinos. I wonder how they're gonna cope with all this fucking
Yeah.
bullshit afterwards. You know?
I think it's almost impossible at that point because like your whole business is literally. Well, so far I've seen a couple of concepts like they have like poker tables surrounded by a wall of glass and like
Yeah, yeah.
everybody's wearing masks. Only like your hands are allowed through, and like
Well,
obviously
they
like,
have the digital shit too. I don't know if they still have it, but that's how they started.
Right,
Yeah.
man.
Was they'd have a screen and like you have a card in your hand. And your cards would come up flat on the screen like this, and then there's a spot where it'd show you how much your chips are, or how much you have, and then you put the card like this so that no one could see your cards. And whenever you put the card, your cards will flip up, and you look at them, and then you could go like this, and you hit how many coins you want to put out. So you put out like 2 $5 ones
Yeah.
and like 2 $2 ones, whatever, and like bet that or like do all your shit. I mean, you're still touching the machine,
Yeah.
but at least that way, like
You're not,
everyone's
like, sharing
touching
cards
the
and
cards and like
chips
chips
and-
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
exactly.
Man, you
Yeah.
know what just struck my head? Like, say this becomes the norm. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
it is
it's
the
going to
normal.
be,
That's
yeah.
what they're already
Like
talking
Yeah,
about.
and that's another one of those buzzwords, man.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
the new
yeah.
normal. It just gets
Like,
repeated and
okay.
repeated.
Okay, so let's say this is the next thing for like, fucking 25 years or so.
Oh yeah.
How the fuck are people going to date? How are people going? How are
Aw, man.
males
I don't know,
and females gonna get together?
dude, I already
Tell me that. You're gonna have to break the fucking rules, man.
Can I
so-
touch your hand?
Yeah, right.
Can I hold your hand?
relationship in quarantine? So like, it is what it is, man. People are
It's,
Hey, man.
well, like it's just gonna be like
for the young
you
generation.
you go rub one out into a cup over here, and we'll get like a turkey baster or something like that. And just
Yeah.
Right?
It's like what's the movie where the fucking they're talking about oh shit, it's coming. No wait, it's Letterkenny. The 8th season, they go and they help the fucking like the Mennonites or the Amish people or whatever, and it's Jono from Jonovision, Jonathan
Oh,
Torrance or whatever.
Yeah,
And he's
J-Rock,
like the,
baby.
J-Rock.
yeah, he's like, what the fuck's his name? Anyways, their last name's Dick, though. Like, his wife's name's like Anita Dick or something like that. And like, yeah. And they talk weird, right? Because they're like Amish or whatever. So they
Yeah.
like kind of have like, they're like, I guess making fun of them or whatever.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, but they're like, anyway, so either way, watch it. It's fucking hilarious. But it's just, the point is they're talking about how, like, so Jonathan Torrance character came and asked them to help them. He's like, oh, like, I need your help and all this. And like the way that he words it, they think that they're gonna get them to come like bang the girls and stuff.
Okay.
And because like I said, it's the way he words it. He says a bunch of shit like, you know, whatever. I need, you know, like big strong men, or like I need this and like whatever. Blah, blah. You got good genes and like whatever, right? Like it was just insinuating that.
It sounded like it was for
and they're like, we heard that fucking they have like this sheet or whatever, right? And there's a hole in it, and they separate like the guy and the girl, and you just like put it through and like you do it. So, so that all it is just that, and it's not like a like
it's not a sexual
exactly.
It's what we call a glory hole.
So so my point is that I'll get to my point in a sec. The story of the matter is that later on one of them gets called aside. They're all like building some shit, and one of them gets called aside. Derry gets called aside to do some shit. Yeah. Like, oh, like, can you go help her or whatever, do this thing? And so they're like hanging up clothes on the clothesline, and there's a fucking sheet and there's a hole in it, and he picks it up and he's like, oh, and then the other guys look and they're like, oh. But anyways, point is like, you know, like you said, like with the turkey baster, it'd be like, yeah, we're just gonna hold this sheet here, like you just put her through.
We'll get her done.
But I need a smaller hole.
Oh man. Yeah, it's a strange new world that we're gonna be living in. That's for sure.
Just it's all in the DMs these days.
Yeah. Well, actually, they're doing a thing on like my friend told me on like Tinder or Bumble or something like that, where it's like
video chat.
Like but it's like speed dating, but it's like video chat shit.
Oh, they're doing what fucking Omegle did, basically.
Yeah, isn't there like those already?
Hook you up with a fucking random stranger via cam.
That's
gonna go bad. That's gonna go bad.
Yeah, well, it was like I guess you like sign up for it like the same as like a speed dating thing, so everyone just like circulates or whatever, and it's like an event. You just like do it or whatever. But no, like I said, my friend saw that somewhere.
This guy that I know.
Yeah, But yeah, no, I mean, like, that could be the thing, right? Like, because at the same time, too, like, I mean, like, in the time of pandemic might be worse paranoia, but, like, let's say, like, it's now, like, in the pandemic type shit, it's like, well, I don't really want to go and, like, waste the time hanging out with this stranger to find out that I don't like them and then get COVID. Yeah, exactly. Like, So I mean, like, and I'm not saying that I'm like that, but I'm just saying, like, people would or could think of that, right?
And so then that's the average fucking thought of the
So then if you get all of those, like, dates out of the way on the internet that you're like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, no.
All right, did you get your vaccine?
Well,
I got it. Yeah.
I'm already thinking.
Let's prove it. All right.
I'm not.
You got protection.
You're gonna get vaccine tattoos.
I always carry a gun on me.
People aren't even gonna ask if you have STDs anymore. They'll be like, "Do you have COVID? Do you feel sick?"
Yeah.
Just like the same way the security guards greet you at the LCBO. Do you feel sick?
Man, I heard.
Have you been coughing recently?
Man, they ask you that.
Okay, let's have a beer.
So they ask you that everywhere, right? Like, or pretty much, right? There's someone at the door. Hey, like, at No Frills twice now, I've gone in and I'll be getting to the door, and there's like some kid will just like run across the parking lot, and he'll be like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Good. How are you?" And like the one time he wasn't, it didn't look like he was wearing like clothes that he or like that. Like, I mean, a uniform? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I meant, like, you know, clothes that signified that he, like, worked there, right? Yeah. So he, like, ran up, but I know the kid that, so I knew once, but anyways, he's like, how's it going? I'm like, good, how are you? And but I forgot about all the shit, right? And so he, like, scurries in the door ahead of me and, like, kind of turns around and is like, so, like, do you have a cold or, like, this fever and, like, blah, blah, blah? Have you been out of the... I'm like,
I haven't experienced
man. I'm like, I saw you yesterday
yet.
and I talked to you fucking yesterday, man. Oh, it's everywhere, man. Like, I went to the liquor store the other day, same thing.
This makes me have to say something, man. So, like, that's in a small town.
Yeah.
And Jonesy and I, like, I've been to the LCBO, I've been to Walmart. And the security guards don't ask us that, man. So
I've never been asked that.
I'm in absolute shock that in a fucking
they have
small
a cart?
town, there's no airport there.
They have
no
a
one's
cart
coming
set up.
from here to there. They don't like.
They have a cart set up to block you with a thing of fucking hand sanitizer and shit on it.
Wild.
Yeah.
And here they say it's there, but they give you your
if you want to use it.
Oh, they don't like make you, but it's there. Yeah.
Okay.
The precautions that are being taken in Ottawa are like understandable for the fact of how many people are smushed in such a small space.
Well, this is what I'm saying though. You think that?
Look at the numbers though, man.
Like what he's dealing with, we would be dealing with.
Yeah, you think it'd be the other way around?
Yeah, totally.
Super scared of going outside or like, you know,
that shocks me actually.
To like horn shit at malls. Like out in the country, the population density is so much smaller.
But man, you should see it.
There,
but you should see it, man. I go down Main Street, man. people walking down Main Street, and I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not nothing against them, but I'm just saying that like around there, it's like nothing happened unless you go to the store. Like literally, everyone's just like,
So how long?
whatever.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say no. It's like everyone's walking around doing whatever. Like that guy got charged for going walking his dog. Like people are just everywhere.
Yeah, and so they should be. Fucking. So how long has this been going on? So like this was a thing since February,
We're almost at
right?
3 months now.
Late
Right, so-
February, I
so-
think, yeah.
In 3 months in Ontario alone, there's been less or around about 2,000 deaths, I think, and that's of a population of 14.5 million people. So in a 3 month period, 2,000 people dying out of a 14.5 million, like that's a small
small.
number.
Considering we
Yeah.
have the largest
Statistically-
population density in
Yeah.
Canada.
But there's a lot of
Exactly.
factors too, though. So like one thing is that like so I think like what if taking the precautions has made those numbers lower, right? And then like even too like people talk about and I bring this up all the time too, but in '69 there was the H3N1 and it was a pandemic or whatever, right? And a million people died.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was-
But they had Woodstock that year.
yeah, yeah.
It was
That's
and it
similar,
was like-
similar to this one too.
but-
It only affected old people and like immunocompromised people as well.
yeah.
Yeah, but so now picture. So then I was using that as an argument, like, hey man, like they didn't shut down the world then, and a million people died. Well, what if shutting down the world now has stopped? Because it's at 250. When the last time I checked, it was at 250,000. So
Like worldwide.
for Corona. Yeah.
For deaths or for
For deaths, yeah, that's because I have all the screenshots, but they're all like old now, like a couple weeks or whatever.
right.
But so point is that I was like, man, this one's only at 250,000. Well, the fucking pandemic in '69 was 1 million people died, and they never shut down shit.
and like
Yeah.
But here's my point though. Is what if? And I thought of this myself. I'm like, well, actually, I kind of argued with myself. I'm like, what if the fact that we have closed everything down has kept that number down?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because like
that's the whole point of
no,
doing
I
it,
know,
is that it
but
has.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is that I was one to be like, fucking, why are they shutting everything down? It's so suspicious, blah blah blah, whatever. The other one was 1 million, this one's 250,000. But if you think, well, maybe that number's 250 because we shut it down. Because last time they didn't, and they realized we should do that next time.
You learn as you go, right? I get where you're coming from.
I'm still
for
suspicious,
sure.
you know what I mean? But I'm
yeah.
just saying, I always argue from both sides, right?
It's
Like I'll
good to
see
do
everything.
that, though, man.
The only thing that's like really like starting to perplex me though is like how these updated statistics are coming out 3 days after everything gets opened up. So like things were opened up a couple
And they have
days.
a thing like rolling
Yeah,
numbers on
like,
the
what
fucking
are you
internet.
getting
It's
at?
This is what I'm
crazy.
saying,
Yeah,
this is
like,
what I'm saying though, is 3 days ago roughly everything was opened up and like, you know, they're opening up campgrounds, they're opening up parks and everything like that. Restaurants are doing takeout and everything, but they're saying, oh yeah, restaurants can do takeout. Like take it from a cook, man.
Selling beer.
There's so many ways that your food can get infected.
Oh,
And-
oh, for
course,
sure.
man.
like
If that's one way anyone
There's at
else-
least 3 people touching your food.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
well, that's exactly it. And like, and you see these people. Like, I saw an old Chinese woman the other day, or sorry, old Asian woman. I shouldn't try and specify, but she had gloves on and she was out in public. She had a mask on and she started touching her face with the gloves.
Yo,
You're completely defeating the purpose. Like,
Dude.
I see that
these-
so
yeah,
much,
most
man.
people don't understand even how to like stay safe from
Yeah,
this. Like,
yeah.
you can go out and touch whatever the hell you want. Don't touch your face. Come back, like sanitize your hands, wash your hands, disinfect your clothing, disinfect your shoes or whatever, and you're good. But like at this point, you know, like get it. Just get
Yeah.
it. Go to the hospital. Like right now is the
I
best time
agree.
to do that.
I
because
totally agree with that.
the
Actually,
hospitals are empty still because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
flattened the curve
It's
so
right.
well.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, and if all that is
Yo.
true, like that herd immunity concept of like just inevitably we're all gonna get it anyways.
true.
It's out there,
Sweden's
so
doing the herd immunity thing right now, and I know they've got a lot of deaths, but like they have a lot of people.
cousin lives over there.
Like, yo, I'm sorry, like we live in.
But
a
see, that's
post-
the
we live in a
concept that
post-
people don't understand, though, is that the amount of people that die would be the same no matter what. It's just you prolong the inevitable basically
We
by
live-
social
right.
distancing.
We
Like,
live in a post-Avengers Endgame society now, and everybody has seen what probably are the benefits of the snap, and everybody has had that random
Right.
like ram down their throats,
That's actually fucking.
and now all of a sudden we kind of have a bit of
I
a
don't know.
snap, and
Yeah.
it's starting to take out
It-
Well, I
elderly.
just
it's
mean I
taking
don't-
out immunocompromised. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't have elderly people that I would miss in my family. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't have immunocompromised friends that could get this and whatnot. but I believe that quarantine procedure should be isolate those people.
Exactly.
And the ones
Yeah.
that are healthy and can fight this off, get them infected as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Because you want
Develop
people to-
those antibodies, right?
yeah.
Or if not at least fast as possible, but control it.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they're sending people back to work, or they're continuing certain trades to continue to work, and like the U.S. is having like really bad outbreaks. Like,
Yeah.
the problem there is that their healthcare is like monetized. Like they don't have
Right.
So
healthcare.
right.
Fucked
Man,
up
I saw
lights.
this
No, it's all
fucking
good.
shit.
It's all good.
Happens.
I saw
So
this
even
girl-
right now, sorry, like it just says there's 5.2 million corona cases worldwide.
Yeah.
339,000 deaths,
Yeah.
but 2.1 million people have recovered.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's about a 10% or a 1% death rate.
It's not even. It's not 10%.
No.
There's no way.
If there's 500,000 deaths out of 5.5
What was
million
it, three?
infected, that's easily a 10%.
But it's
Close
375 or something.
But that's it's tough to do that, right? Because
And
you're
also
only
how many-
you're only counting the numbers of known infections.
and that's what I'm saying.
so
is
the
like,
death
really-
rate is like would be,
It's gotta be a
way
bit-
lower because the amount of people that probably have it and don't show symptoms and haven't been tested is probably way higher, right? So the
Yeah,
amount of
right,
people that
right.
have it is probably way higher than what we would ever imagine, and the amount of people that are actually showing symptoms and going to hospital is actually relatively low.
Exactly.
So yeah, that death rate seems really high when you're only counting the lab tested positive cases
Yeah.
Exactly.
and the
Yes.
amount of people that have died.
And they,
Right,
they said
right.
right off the bat too is that people might get this and be asymptomatic. So what I did right away, I'm pretty sure almost everybody did, is I stayed inside for like 3 weeks, almost a month straight. When the full lockdown went in,
Yeah.
went
Like
into effect,
at the start.
I stayed inside and like I did not leave the house. And then as I like started like just like I started like reintegrating myself. I'd go to this store specifically, one single store to get stuff, and like
Right.
that was it. And then it was like, okay, well I'm gonna start seeing people in my inner circle, and like maybe I'll go to a different store. All of a sudden, I still have stayed the fuck
gonna be
away
that
from
guy
public
first.
transit. But
Nice.
I was using cabs like early on, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like they didn't even have full safety measures in place at that point. But
Yeah.
like it's just I think it's just common hygiene knowledge to understand that your spit travels, so just cover up your face.
Yeah.
And like if you're gonna touch things without gloves on, just clean your hands. And you might as well not even wear gloves simply
I
because
agree. Yeah.
most people aren't realizing that you still gotta sanitize and wash your hands after you use the gloves
Yeah,
anyways.
for sure.
So
And like, what are you using with your gloves? Like are people grabbing their cell phones?
Man,
with their
that's
gloves?
what, so that's what I was
After
that's what I was
fucking-
starting to say when Jonesy was saying that was so actually side note real quick, because my brother Tyler was telling me that he saw a picture of like these kids sitting there like eating fucking fries with gloves on.
Like that's so
that's the opposite,
pointless,
you know.
man, right?
But
yeah,
so I
like-
saw this chick today, right? It was whenever I went to the fucking country style to get my breakfast wrap, which I fucked up, and
but
Yeah.
they offered to
yeah, I will say so. I
put
actually
you in
I
touch.
tagged them like fucking in all my story and shit like a bunch of times, and they fucking they messaged me on Instagram and they're like, "Hey, sorry, like give us all your information and
What's
shit.
up,
We want to
Nikki?"
get in touch to you or get in touch with you and all this, right?"
Yeah.
But anyway, short story long, and so they, like I said, they fucked it up. But so I go in and it's this gas station shit, right? And so I go in and it's a big parking lot and like there's a bunch of gas pumps and I see this like person ahead of me and like she goes and pulls up in front of the building, right? And so then I kind of like peep to see if there was enough room in front of the building. I'm like, yeah, right beside her. So I pull up and like reverse beside her. And like, so by this time, like in my mind, like I pull up and like shut off the car and get out right away, right?
Right.
She's like sitting in the car. So I kind of look over. I'm like, oh, she must be like texting or something. So then I jump out of the car and I go to the building. And the lady's like, oh, 1 sec, there's people in here. And I was like, is country style open? And she's like, you got to go through drive-through.
Mhm.
So then I go to the car and I look over and this girl is like in the car, like putting on her mask, she has her gloves on and shit. And like they look like they're like yellow because they're so old. Like she's been using them for a while,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's
And she's
another
like
thing.
putting her mask on with the gloves on and like fitting it on her face
yeah.
and stuff. Gets out, grabs these packages. I think she was like delivering something. So she grabs these like a couple different boxes or whatever. And I'm driving away, right? So I drive away and she goes into the store. So then I get my shit and I'm pulling out of the drive-thru and she walks across in front of me because it's like the gas station is like there's like an office and shit there for like if you want to order like whatever to your house, like
Yeah.
like for your furnace or like
Oh,
propane and
yeah,
shit like that. Like
right,
it's a
yeah.
big like spot, right? Like you go and
Okay.
get your race fuel and shit there. But anyway, so yeah, she's going into this office, right? And I noticed she doesn't have the boxes with her, and she's fucking like this, gloves on, phone in her hand, and she had something else in her hand. It was like kind of round. It looked like maybe like, have you ever seen like fucking, they'd be like headphones that wrap around the back of your head?
Yeah.
Oh,
Have,
but
like
they
a
fold up,
plastic
they fold
thing, and
up,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
so it looked like she had that and was kind of like swinging it in her hand, and she had her phone with her gloves on, and then she like walks up and grabs the door and like
Oh,
whatever,
man.
and I'm like,
You're touching
you're
all your
doing it,
face
like
stuff.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
like you're gonna go in and whatever, like you might be handing one of those people this shit or like whatever, and it's just like your phone. I mean, like
Yeah.
you go into your car and take off your fucking gloves,
Yeah.
and then you're probably gonna pick up your phone again.
Yeah.
Like
Totally,
you
man.
fucking dink, you know?
Yeah.
No, I'm a chronic nail biter, and when this shit came out, I was like, "Oh,
Man.
fantastic!" Like, yeah, like I'm not allowed to touch stuff and touch my face. I fucking bite my nails anytime. I'm
Oh,
nervous.
but see,
Man,
man,
yeah, so
I'm
it's
always
like,
like, I
bro.
do this shit,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
like,
play with
I
my
rub my
yeah,
eyes
shit,
and
totally.
shit, like, but like I
I'm
don't.
bad for it.
Much on the touch.
The only time I'm I was gonna say confident. The only time I'm conscious of it is like if I'm like doing shit, right? Like if I had just gone to the gas station or some
Yeah,
shit.
that's a big
But I
one.
guess gas station is different because usually the gas station I go to has gloves that I wear to pump the gas,
Okay.
and then they have sanitizer right there.
That's crazy.
But-
Not here, man.
But they've
That's
had that. But they've
nuts.
had that since that store opened.
Okay.
Like they just, it's been there like
Okay,
that.
yeah.
And this is like fucking 5 years ago
Yeah,
that it
yeah.
opened.
Well, that's
Um,
like, think about how many people.
I thought it was
touch
so
a fucking
stupid
gas
until now,
pump,
and then I'm like,
though,
man, so
right?
glad they have gloves.
Yeah, because like
I don't
yeah.
even think about it, man. Honestly, I'm
But
just
if I'm
going
in the
about my
city
life like
touching
this
shit, I
shit
won't
doesn't
touch
even
my
exist.
face.
Yeah, no, I never did to begin with. That was the thing. You know what I mean?
Always, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, me too, man. I
Touch
I don't
and
know. I've
shit,
always-
like-
And
I've
man,
always
not
been-
only that, but when I'm like focused at working and I have like my mustache is growing out and I got
Yeah.
a beard, I'm licking it, man, all the time. Like,
Oh, man, when I
find
get
that-
this, when
yeah,
it's real
yeah,
long?
yeah, totally. dude.
Yeah.
Yo, anytime I
Oh,
try
like-
to focus on something, the tongue comes out of the mouth, and it's like in the corner. And it's like,
yo, one of my
It's like
buddies
fucking
when
MJ.
when he
Yeah, yeah,
skated.
yeah. Well, yo, even TSN shared a picture of Patrick Elias. You remember him on the Devils back?
Oh,
in the
yeah,
day?
yeah.
Him and Yoni Pitkin went into the fucking corner to go and fucking fight for a loose puck. And
Right.
they both have their tongues sticking out
Oh
the side of
yeah,
their mouth. They're both like,
it's definitely a focus.
It's
thing,
yeah,
man.
definitely. Well,
Oh,
like
yeah.
so, one of my buddies back in the day, skateboarding and shit. Fucking, he'd like push and shit, and then he'd like get ready to do his trick. But like right as he was like he'd focus, and then right as he was about to like compress and pop, he'd be like
Yeah.
and do his thing. And I remember we had this one video of
I
him,
love it.
and he's fucking, like on the one side of Metro by the cop shop, there's like a manual pad all the way down the side of the building, basically.
Mm.
And it goes downhill, right? So you can like keep up your speed. And so yeah, buddy fucking like went on there, like he manualed the whole thing right
Yeah,
onto the road. But I remember there's a video of him and like he's got his fucking face to the camera, so he's like manualing whatever, and fucking you just see like whenever it kind of comes out, you see his face, he's like doing his thing. I remember one of my girlfriends when she cut shit up or like when she was cooking,
Yeah.
she was always like
Yeah.
doing shit, like-
Speaking of skateboarding, Tony Hawk's
Remastered.
Pro Skater
Oh,
1 and 2
man.
remaster.
and they're
Can't
making a
wait,
new
bro.
skate.
No,
I know, yeah.
Are
So
they?
skates coming out, new
Are
Tony
they,
Hawk's.
though?
I'm more excited. Yeah, and
yeah,
my
oh, yeah,
brother
wait,
said
yeah.
they're coming out with a
Skate?
skate. Yeah, he said he doesn't know when.
Fuck,
it's probably
man.
for the
It's
new.
really early in
He said it's
development,
probably
yes.
for the new
'Cause
consoles and
Consoles, it
shit.
better be, because I heard EA was like, fuck Skate 4, because we haven't got a skate
even
on
said-
this,
he even
on
s-
this gen,
Yeah.
right?
He even said it was from EA.
Yeah?
That said it. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Okay, yeah,
That's
because
true.
I
I'm surprised we didn't get a skate game.
Well, man,
skate
because
game on
they-
Gen,
I-
what are we on 4 now at this point? Gen 4?
3.
yeah, Gen 4.
Are we?
Oh
yeah.
no, 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
never
yeah.
mind.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
follow PlayStation.
Yeah,
They'll-
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Xbox is like, yeah, we're gonna go with X squared next year.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Xbox is late, aren't they?
They are.
Because
They are.
the
When
PlayStation
PS2
2
was out, the Xbox
Xbox
One
One,
came
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That's
But
facts.
did you know the Xbox? So I can't say 100% that this is true, but I know chronologically the math works out. So I remember reading like fucking gamer magazines and shit,
Yeah,
and there was the PlayStation, and then the PlayStation 2 was like spoke about, and they were like, Sony's coming out with this thing.
yeah.
And they're
It's a
like,
thing, man.
what's it gonna look like? What's it gonna be called?
Yeah.
And it was just a silhouette, I'm pretty sure, of the fucking PlayStation, like the regular one.
The 2 or the
No,
one?
like the
sick
one,
logo
like the
that
normal
was,
one.
yeah.
And it was just a
The PlayStation logo?
but it was
Oh,
just
yeah.
it was just the silhouette of it, and on it it said X.
Okay.
And then so they were calling it the Xbox because it was man, and Mr. X, no name yet or whatever.
Yeah.
So then later, fucking the Xbox came out.
Yeah.
Like when the PlayStation 2 came out. And somebody told me that they were like Xbox stole their name from PlayStation.
Oh man, I may have actually.
And
heard
they didn't connect those exact dots. But when they said that, I'm like, wait, there's a chance that they could have not stolen it, but just said, hey, what are we gonna call ours? Well, they're saying Xbox, so let's just call it that and just be like, fuck you guys, right? So I do know that. Obviously, Xbox called themselves Xbox, and I do know that there was an article that PlayStation said this Xbox is coming. So, but I don't know if it was a direct steal from them. But point is,
I've never heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah, and like I said, it wasn't like I looked it up or anything. Like I had read the magazine and then later heard that fact. It was
they would have known. Obviously, that would have been their competition, right? Nintendo too, I suppose.
So Mac, Apple.
As for realistic gameplay, though, that's what they were after.
PlayStation.
Oh, absolutely.
They were more simulation.
So like Apple has not really had like a fucking like a game. You know what I mean? Like when you think about it,
no, they've only
never really had a big
they've
game.
just taken from.
So Halo was originally an Apple product.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
So the original map designs and like the concept of
was Apple
even?
That was a concept. That was a concept, and then Bill Gates bought it off of them.
Wow.
He was like, I'm going to buy this intellectual property. He bought the idea of Halo off of them and then fucking funded it and turned it into one of the biggest gaming franchises.
That's crazy, man.
Xbox really only has that, Gears of War, and Forza, man. That's like all
Forza.
they have.
What else?
What else?
I mean, they have all the fucking. They've got all the.
No,
sports titles. So.
Skate was originally only on Xbox 360.
What sport titles that?
Like their exclusives.
They've got Madden. They've got NHL.
Say Simpsons.
Well, yeah, but
they don't have. They don't have.
I'm talking about
Xbox's exclusives do pale in comparisons to Sony's, and like they even license Final Fantasy off of them now.
Yeah.
They're starting to get all the remasters of the old ones and shit.
But you know what I mean. Like,
but see, here's the thing. Someone told me this a long time ago, and it makes so much sense, right? So and like. Fucking, I know a lot of people have had many Xbox 360s, but so Sony makes hardware, so their hardware is good.
Yeah.
Okay,
they're able to get all the graphics and all this shit. They got the good hardware, right?
But Microsoft makes computers.
But then Microsoft is software, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying they don't make computers, but I'm just saying that they're like
their graphics.
They're a software thing, right?
Think of how much money they'd make if they combined.
Well, buddy, true. Wow, but
it's always a
competition. That'd be the best merger ever.
It
might be seen we're seeing like the crossplay like compatibility, right? So maybe there would just be like a universal like what maybe they would do something like that and just create a single console that
True, because now that I think about it, I was going to say that you probably sell less because I was thinking that
You're amalgamating
well, exactly because the 50. I'm just small scale. The 50 that PlayStation gets and the 50 that Xbox gets is now 100.
Oh no! PlayStation kills it. They're at like 75% of the market.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. For
argument's sake,
for
like,
numbers,
the amount of people that would be on each side now. Because I was
thinking in my head, I was thinking that I was like, well, no, because you'd have like. All the people that would buy PlayStation and buy like Xbox, but they would buy that, right? You know what I mean? Like they'd all be buying that thing.
Because Xbox is so much smaller than PlayStation, like.
And also capitalism, there has to be some sort of like.
Well, dude, Disney owns everything.
Competition, right? Like it's Coke or Pepsi, PlayStation, Xbox. There's got to be like the competition, right? There's always two majors.
Or it's an illegal shirt because they didn't make money.
Here's the thing: is it's from Redbubble, so I think it's illegal.
It's definitely.
And you know what's funny is like I'll Google like artist fucking merchandise or whatever, right? Like whatever artist and merchandise, and sometimes I'll come up with like their website and they'll be like no merchandise. Or there'll be like one thing or whatever, but then I'll find like, there'll be like the shop thing, there's like news, pictures, videos, whatever. So I'll go to shop and there'll just be like a whole list of like shit, right? So I'm like, oh, cool. I want that shirt. And I'm like, oh, it's Redbubble. So it's like some fan that just like took it and like put it on his shirt and is selling it. I'm assuming, right?
That's pretty much
Because like
what's
I don't
happening.
think Peep has a Redbubble fucking thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like what was the other one? A Boogie with the hoodie. That hoodie season shirt I got. It was Redbubble too.
Yeah. That's probably what it is. Just fans
people,
out there trying to make.
People can do that. I want to do that. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, Tupac. Like, whew.
Why not, right?
Yeah. $1 million idea.
Just don't get caught.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, fuck yeah.
Hey, you think Redbubble would be on top of that shit, right?
True that, yeah.
Like looking at like the designs that get
I think
uploaded.
it'd be like approved. You'd have to be approved.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Or
Did you
something.
get that shirt during quarantine?
I just got.
Bro,
It's got Corona on it. I'm pretty sure. It's not.
I've been waiting for a package for like a month now.
So I actually.
It's been in town.
Yo.
It's been in town for fucking what day is it?
Dude.
We're looking at 11 days. It got
But
here
yo.
11 days ago, and it hasn't gone from.
But here's the
Coastal
thing, man.
Office here in town.
There's a lot
My
of
house in
trucks.
11 days.
There's a lot of trucks that haven't been fucking like checked in and shit. Excuse me. Sorry. But so like a guy that I know, I guess knows a guy that works at UPS, and he said there's like trucks that are like still there that aren't like being checked and shit. Like they're just like so much going on right now. But at the same time, I will say, so where'd you order from?
Vancouver.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not bad.
But I mean,
I actually-
it got to town on the 11th.
Yo, I ordered.
It's been here for 11 days, and it still hasn't been sent out to my house.
I ordered that big order of our shirts. Actually, fucking hit us up if you want t-shirts. I got a whole bunch of motherfucking t-shirts. Hit me up. Styles the Prophet
Actually, I'm gonna do this right now.
4G
That's-
on
This is gonna be-
Instagram.
I'm gonna-
Oh yeah, check it out. We got this.
Get on camera.
But no, so I ordered those on the 5th. Or no, sorry, I ordered those and on the 5th they sent them, right?
B-Show's gonna be like,
B-Show's been
Yeah, yeah.
Stand up.
So yeah, we got a couple of these in black and orange. We got some of the regular just 4G and black and orange. I think there's a couple of purples up in the house. But yeah, check those out for sure. So I ordered those on I forget what day I ordered them, but they were sent out on the 5th, and they sent one of my packages early
From where though?
from Red. I think it's Southern Ontario somewhere.
Okay.
Because it makes it to
What,
Mississauga
yellow
like that.
No. I got.
But no,
I
so
just
no.
explained that I got
It's
a
he's
package,
missing some shit. So okay, so here's the
that's
thing.
been in town for 11 days.
But
and
yo.
still hasn't been shipped to me.
But yo, so okay, so there's this thing that got shipped first. I haven't received it, but I've received all the shirts. I've received something else I ordered from Vancouver on the same day. Came last week. Then I ordered like a long time ago. I ordered from this company again, and they sent one thing, my scarf. They sent my scarf in, and then they sent the rest of the shit the next day. Well, I got the rest of the shit later. Never got the scarf. So I messaged them. They're like, okay. So they sent me another scarf. Well, I ended up getting the scarf. Well, I just got another scarf like last week, which was like a month and some later.
Oh shit.
So I think shit's like fucking yeah. So I think shit's like just getting lost and shit.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I still haven't gotten. I got like a little zipper bag,
Okay, I like paid like $200 for
and I
some
fucking
clothes.
and I never got the
And you
zipper
haven't
bag
got them
yet.
Yeah, and it's from
But
like
man-
it's from like a
Sorry.
private seller too, so it's not like something that I could like get my money back. Like if
don't
Canada
do
Post
that.
lost my fucking package, I'm gonna be pissed.
But yeah, it's just somewhere, man. Just everything's all fucked up.
Canada
Because even
Post, get
too,
your
man.
shit together.
Yo, even too, man. So I just got either my February or my March Daily High Club box.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
May.
Yeah. You know
I think
what-
it was
you-
March. Yeah.
You know what that is?
June at this point.
You want to know why? Like, they're probably like prioritizing it. You know what I mean?
It's just fucking slow, man.
I bet people. Well, I could be wrong, but I bet there's probably certain people that get shit in the mail. Like, you know what I mean?
But
I don't know. I could be wrong, but like
That's what'll happen.
like I've already seen it, man. So like for example, like if you got, you know what I mean, like if you got the money or whatever, like so a lot of the racing right now went to iRacing, and there was this one racer didn't have a setup at all. Within a week within a week, you know, he orders it and gets it, and it's like,
so it's
is
like
that-
if the
it's
address is like a rich neighborhood or something, it'll go to them quicker than it would be if it was like a poor
maybe.
neighborhood.
I'm saying
Like,
maybe,
I guess
or
if,
depending who you are.
I live downtown.
Redbubble
so, like, there's
this time-
packages going out all the time.
Redbubble this time was longer than before, but the other thing that came from BC was like really quick.
Yeah.
So it's just, like I said, it's just like
It's like a hit or
whatever.
miss
Everything's
sort
yeah,
of thing,
sort
right?
of everywhere.
Yeah.
But at the same time too. So like, anybody else want a beer?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just gonna say this real
Like the
quick. At the
last
same
time.
time too, another thing I'll say too though is
You
that
were going for one.
yeah, no, go ahead. But I want to say this real
Okay.
quick. So the other thing too is that I fucking I had a package that I never got, and then it said that it was like in town, like you're saying, like it was at the fucking place. So then I went to the place where you pick up the packages, and they said it wasn't there, right? So then, like a week later, I get a fucking thing in the mail, and they're like, "Oh, come pick up your package." And I go over there, I'm like, "Here you go." They're like, "We don't have it." I'm like, "The fuck?"
What?
Like, I'm like, "It says it's been here for a while,
Yeah.
and I came here, and you don't have it. Now I get like a thing saying you have it, and come get it, and you don't have it." I'm like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "Oh, well, go check at the post office because normally you pick up your packages at the
Yeah.
Aikenheads thing, like the
Right.
drugstore."
Yeah.
So I go to the fucking. That's how small of a town it is. Fucking. Oh, I guess they have
No,
that everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah, I
me
guess
too,
they have
bro.
that everywhere.
Yeah,
I
it's-
can
But
go to
anyways-
Shoppers here and pick
But
up
anyways, yeah. So then I went right to the place and like, oh yeah, here it is, like
Yeah,
sitting
okay,
there or
yeah.
whatever, right? So maybe you just gotta go and knock on the door.
True. Which brings me
Anybody
me to my next question though.
Why-
Yeah, why not?
Why is it that pharmaceutical stores have the post office in there?
I don't know, but I know that if you rob a fucking pharmacy, it's like there's like a bigger charge with it because
I bet.
because it has the
Like
post
if you're
office in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, so
yeah, because it's like
federal-
government or
well,
like
I
it's like
guess-
yeah something.
It's
Um,
anything to do with
They
mail.
put that law in mind just to specifically do that to people that would be desperate enough to rob a pharmacy. Because like obviously like there's prescriptions in there. There's like lots of
Maybe.
narcotics in there.
Maybe.
Though like, and I know that like the whole prison for profit.
Maybe we
thing
just
is not,
answered
is-
it.
It's not a fucking.
That's
joke.
not in
It's
Canada
real.
though. Well, sorry,
No, it's
sorry,
in
yeah,
Canada,
yeah.
Believe
But
me, man. It's in Canada.
But they're not privatized like they're in the States. The States are in the States. The thing about the difference between here and the States is in the States, the person who owns the jail can turn around and go, okay, you just gave me fucking 3 more people that are going to be here for say 3 years each or
To
whatever.
do this kind of labor.
Each year that they're here, it's going to cost me $1 million per person. So you have to pay me $1 million per person to keep this person here in jail.
But it doesn't cost $1 million.
But that's just
a year
it. Yeah,
to
it
keep a
costs them
person on.
100,000, or they fucking make it cost 100,000, and they're just like ching ching ching.
It doesn't.
ching,
It,
ching,
it
ching,
realistically, it only costs that much because of the labor that you're spending to keep the people there. Like,
Well, it's-
when
Well, you got to think you got to
Well,
pay
no,
the
because
people.
I'm on
You
pot-
got the fucking like the hydro and shit. You're feeding them and shit like that. But it wouldn't be a
yeah,
fucking
but
million.
I'm under the poverty line, and I can keep myself alive for 25 grand. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So like whatever numbers they're given are obviously exaggerated, and it's the whole.
Oh yeah, and I'm not saying $1 million. I'm
No,
just
it's the whole
yeah
point
for
of taking
numbers' sake.
taxpayer money to fucking fund a private corporation.
Right.
Throwing the mic around here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like the funny thing is, I actually didn't know that for a while, and apparently there's some documentary my buddy was telling me about, and there's like a prison in Texas where like in the fucking hot summer and shit like that, he makes them stay out in like army tents out in the like desert or in the yard or whatever.
Yeah.
And they all wear pink.
Oh,
Just because he's like, fuck you, I run this place.
right, of course.
Fucking
Pretty much
wild.
just to like what's the word?
like
Like to
dude,
degrade.
Yeah,
him,
degrade,
basically.
yeah.
So I saw recently too that there was like a road crew that got replaced with prison labor. So they had like jobs during this whole COVID thing. And
Wait, what? A road crew?
yeah, like people that like clean ditches and fill potholes and shit like that.
Okay.
Do like low amounts of construction and repair on roadways and shit.
Yeah.
They got replaced by prison labor. So they took like real jobs and put like slave labor in there instead. And like these people had jobs during the whole pandemic, and I don't know if you've like been like watching the news, but like people aren't really getting COVID relief in the States right now.
Yeah,
It's not good.
Man, I read a thing that the fucking. So I read a thing. Whenever I say this, I read a thing that was like some kind of internet post or whatever. wasn't Facebook because I trashed Facebook. But yeah, so I did see it somewhere, but then I went and like looked into it to be like, really though? And they said they didn't give numbers or stats. They just said like a bunch of people got let out of jail in Ontario specifically.
Luca
So
McNaught
then-
might get out.
I was
man.
just about
So
to
then
say
I looked
that,
it
man.
up.
He asked, or his
Oh
mom.
man, you know what's fucked up
Yeah.
is somebody said that recently, and I was like,
Yeah.
who is that?
Oh yeah.
But because I was like, I recognize the name, but
Don't fuck with
but
cats.
no,
Yeah, you know,
so-
he talked about it.
But no, so fuck, where was I going with this? Oh, a bunch of people. So then I looked it up, right? So then I read an article that was saying that it said 70. I want to say it was more than that. 75%. I want to say it was more
Of
than that.
inmates.
Yeah, I think it was more, but I'm pretty sure it was 75 or more.
Yeah.
But I almost want to say 90, but it was a lot. Like it was like ridiculous,
it's a
man.
stupid number.
Got let out of fucking jail and shit.
Yeah.
I
And-
understand like non-violent crimes, that makes sense, but like letting pedophiles and
But like,
That's
why
not
though?
gonna
But like,
be
why
sense.
though? Like they're in there. That's why. Like that's why they're in there,
yeah,
right?
It's to avoid the contamination risk for
But they're not contaminating everyone. Like,
no, it's the prison guards going to and from work every day.
Wear your
but like,
fucking
so then
mask
just
if you
like
want.
just so
Yeah,
then,
but
like,
like-
keep the
You were
prisoners
no
there.
No, they're trying. No, they're
But like the prisoners like are not so they're not going to get it from the prisoners because the prisoners are in jail, right? It's
no,
not
they'll
going to be
get
in
it-
there,
they'll-
right?
They'll get it from the
Fo-
guards.
So the guards, so okay, so then have the guards
Guards
wear
take
gloves, fucking masks,
We
whatever,
just
whatever.
talked about how people don't use that shit properly.
So
though.
how is letting them out into public going
Yeah.
to stop them from getting
takes
it?
It
Yeah.
takes the legal liability away from the prison. The prison can't sit there.
Of course.
The prison can't sit there and be like, yeah, our entire population got COVID-19. A bunch of like people who were in there for 6 months at a time died because of it. You know what I mean? Like they would not be able to financially. I'm never gonna fucking financially recover from this. They would
Yeah,
not be
true.
able to financially recover from the amount of lawsuits that you get from people that are on like low
Yeah.
key fucking sentences that are in like, you know what I mean? So what they're doing.
The chances of that happening are so small, though.
Yeah.
the
The
chances
risk,
of
the
happening-
risk, the
How do
risk
you-
of having a bunch of fucking
No, man.
people go out into public.
No, dude, look, that's the reason why all the retirement homes around here have COVID-19 is because the PSWs are going to like they're almost forced to get like 3 different jobs at like 3 different fucking institutions.
Right.
Where
yeah.
they're needed because most places don't give out full-time hours
That's
because again, a corporation deems it unnecessarily so. Like you have to pay more taxes on people when they're a full-time resident and shit like that.
Yeah.
So they give you like part-time shift work and you have to get like 3 different jobs. So they're going to and from each different job and they're transmitting the infection along with that. So understandably so, these prisons aren't going to want to have all the blowback from infecting a bunch of and I'm going to say it, innocent people because like, yo, if you fucking stole, I don't think
Right,
should
like you
have
say,
to serve a
non-violent
prison
shit.
sentence. I
Yeah,
think you
yeah,
should
yeah, I
definitely
get
just
you.
be sentenced to a shit ton of community service because like if you steal from your community, give it back. You know what I mean? Don't
yeah,
sit there and go into a
agreed.
prison and become a tax fucking benefit for some rich prick, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. If you fucking murdered somebody, if you touched a kid, if you raped somebody, stay the fuck in jail and I hope you get COVID-19.
Yeah.
And but like
Agreed.
what's concerning me is that all of a sudden like violent criminals are starting to get on the
Yeah.
list. So like people who committed fraud at such a level that it actually like ruined people's lives. I also think that fraud should be up there for because like
That's a big one, man.
Well, it's funny, you know who just went to jail on fraud?
who's that?
Aunt Becky from Full House, man.
Really?
She's going down
Oh.
like Martha Stewart
That's
did.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yo, Martha.
Oh, was that the
So-
one she did all the fucking college shit?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
it.
she
that was
cooked
the one
the-
that paid for kids in
Yeah,
it?
pay up.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, was that it? I thought she fucking was like fucking.
No, she bribed a college
I
student.
thought she
Yeah.
like stole fucking. Or she was like fixing the fucking test or something. Or
I don't know about
I thought
that.
it was for her, like when she
Maybe.
went to school, but
Okay, I don't know.
No. She
This was
submitted
about
she
like
submitted a
something
fake
to do with
application
kids.
with like a check.
Her
and stuff.
kid or something.
Yeah, no,
Right?
right?
Okay, yeah.
And it's actually going to show just how many of these like rich people have their kids in like Ivy League schools just based
Because
on a
of
paycheck.
yeah, totally, man. Yeah, so Aunt Becky's fucking doing fraud time.
That's awesome.
oh, she's hot too.
John Stamos.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, that's why the prisons kicked all these criminals out. Is because they don't want to be financially liable.
Fuck.
It
And
makes
I heard
sense
that
on,
YNW
like,
Melly
coming
got
from
out.
an owner of a prison's perspective.
didn't.
Of course, they're going to do that. Like,
It
I
just
mean, like-
kind of
I mean, like,
doesn't that
realistically,
fucking
it's
like
just
make the
bullshit,
whole like
though.
system just like a
Well-
big joke at that point?
Well,
yeah,
Like,
Well,
in
yeah.
a way, it
Let-
make yeah.
Let's look at the government in the first place. Like,
Well, fuck.
Residential schools were responsible for a lot of fucking indigenous people's deaths.
Back in the day, whose father are we
who
talking
held them
about?
responsible, like, at all?
I don't know if we need to go down that road.
Responsible.
Yeah.
We facilitated it and then apologized 20 years later.
Yeah.
Well, I mean roughly about. Like,
Well,
20 years
not
later,
really.
from beginning to end. But anyways, but like. So I feel like the prison would still be able to get away with that. You know what I mean? Like if they had a bunch of deaths, like the government would come in and be like,
Well, man.
they're not liable because of
Well, of
mitigation
course,
of
of course.
Yo, have you ever seen
write
the
that
chick?
shit on
Still
paper?
going to want prisons
But have you ever seen
have
the?
to be around afterwards, right? So they're never like, yeah, of course.
I watched this documentary on this girl, Amanda something, and she
Amanda
was
Todd?
she was
The
yeah.
one that drank the bleach.
No, she
Oh.
so she was in jail and she was like I think she was like schizophrenic or something, and so she was like always beating up her mom or something like that. So she was like always in and out of jail and stuff, and she had like crazy temper and whatever. But like she would go like they would like put her on like watch and shit like that, and they would like she would like put a ligature thing or whatever on her neck and like choke herself out and shit, and she would like get all purple and go all fucked up and then like take it off and whatever. But so like I guess there's like a rule that they like can't go in to the cell and like help you or something. And
What?
like I said, I watched a documentary and they like explain it and they try and make it make sense.
Yeah,
But it's like there's something like because at the same time too, like they could be pretending and then you go in and they fucking like,
Right,
shit you
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit, right?
Legal reasons
So
that-
man, they were sitting there. I watched this girl like take her last breath and die with like a purple face, like fucking thing on her neck and shit. And I'm not bragging either, but so they were sitting outside. There was like 2, 3, maybe even more people outside of the cell, and they had a fucking camera and were filming it. And they're like, hey, like trying to get her attention and trying to get her like, hey, take that off and stuff, right?
sorry.
This happened in Canada.
Kingston.
Was it?
That
Yeah.
happened in fucking
Yeah, so I think she
Kingston,
was
man.
from out west,
I learned
though.
about
But
that.
she ended up somehow in a jail here. I'm pretty sure.
in Kingston. Man. I
Um,
learned about that shit when I was in fucking St. Lawrence College,
yeah,
man.
but yeah, and they fucking like I said, man, on the film I watched the chick take her last
Yeah.
breath and she fucking died.
man, they watched her
Weird flex, but okay.
straight up, man.
But then they
learned-
go in and they fucking like get her.
yeah,
But she's like dead already.
Yeah.
And like the thing is like that's like the fucking like the last thing. Like there's just a bunch of shit where there was just like, I mean, she was like pretty wild and shit like that and whatever. So there's like maybe no like thing in the book on like how to deal with her, but like they just like didn't really deal with her well and
Yeah.
shit like that. Whereas like she should have been like getting help rather than like in a fucking jail.
yeah,
Yeah,
they,
man.
They actually
System needs to be fucking
man,
switched on its head.
they
Oh, it is. Oh,
man,
100%.
they bugged her, man. They I remember learning about that, and they almost egged her on. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was bad. I learned about there was 3 cases
Well, I mean,
that I learned about when I was in college, and they even said like don't speak about it, but that was one of them. I won't get into the other ones, but like crazy shit, man. Like
Yeah.
absolutely no, like
There's no
shit that
rules
would
in
make
there,
you-
man.
Yeah.
I understand.
You
like,
see the fucking Kodak Black shit? Man, I just sorry, I have to say this because I watched some shit recently. I think it was Trap or Ross, or it was
Man.
that Trap guy, the other Trap Geek or something. He's pretty good too. He does the same type shit. Actually, speaking of him, Trap Geek has a bunch of stuff on Toronto rappers, and there's some shit that's happened to Toronto rappers, or they've done, or whatever. Fucked up. Some dude went on $1 million fucking car chase.
Oh, what?
But anyway, so short story long is one of those videos I was watching. So just for the listeners or viewers, whatever, Trap Lord Ross and Trap Geek are 2 guys that do videos on YouTube about like rappers and give like kind of like background information and stuff like that on them, and they go right into detail. But the one about Kodak Black is like, so I guess they were not treating him very well in jail and shit, and like
he looks rough.
and he got a
bro.
coffee, and like so there was like some shit before this, like they were like beating him and shit
Yeah.
and like doing shit to him, and so then he got his coffee and he like drank a few sips out of it and he started to feel all fucked up, and so then he was like, hey, like shit's going on, and fuck, I can't even remember, but like a bunch
They
of shit happened.
probably
Like that might even been when they beat him up or something
Yeah,
like that. But there was
exactly.
like a bunch of shit. Oh yeah. So they were beating him up, and there was actual like sound of him saying like he's like I'm fucked up. I don't know what's going on. Like leave me the fuck alone and shit. So he like wasn't fighting them. He was just like
Taking it.
being fucked up. So like somebody clearly drugged him or something like that. Like he says someone clearly drugged him and shit.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then like his apparently his cellmate was put in there like the day before or something like that this happened, or like somewhere around the time that this happened. And then like the next day or 2 days later, his cellmate was like let out on some crazy like bond or some shit when it was like when he probably shouldn't have been able to get out type shit.
Right.
Like it
So,
was like,
so he was in there just to fucking,
Just to beat him up.
just to poison
do some
Kodak.
shit. Yeah, like
That's
it was like
serious
yeah.
shit, man.
But yeah, I guess he said he felt like he was like on acid and shit after just having like a few sips out of it and shit.
Oh wow, man. I've definitely felt like, a little like, heart racing after drinking a bit too much coffee or whatever, but not that.
Yeah, to get
obviously.
fucked up that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, yeah. But
I've
yeah,
definitely been drinking coffee and I'm like, that's enough.
Check
You know
those
what I
guys out,
mean?
though.
Like, I don't know if you guys ever been that.
Yeah,
like
Traplo
that.
Ross.
Oh,
is
you
really
told me
good.
about Traplo
Yeah.
Ross, but
Trapo
yeah.
Ross.
But Trap Geek, he does like I said, there's a bunch like some of it's just like I don't even know who he's talking about,
Yeah.
but it's like cool stories and shit. Like there's some rapper he had a fucking bazooka in Chicago.
I think I've
And-
seen about that one.
Yeah,
actually,
and
yeah.
fucking like
A bazooka.
yeah, he had a bazooka, and like they talk about how like it was like that's like the biggest thing. Like that's like the like
That's a weird.
Yeah,
flex,
it's
but
like-
okay, moment.
you know, like everybody's got guns
Like,
and drugs
he
and all this shit, but he's
himself
like
had one.
bazooka. Yeah, like he
Yeah.
had a bazooka, but then
Okay.
like there was like, so he was like the legend of like the guy who has the bazooka and shit,
Hold on,
right?
was it
And-
a bazooka, like a tube style bazooka, or was it an RPG? One of those rocket propelled grenades, which has like the shell.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
shell. Yeah. It's like so those things.
That's
Actually, interesting fact. Those
Yeah.
things. So the gun costs about $1,500,
Yeah.
and the bullet costs $200. But like once you shoot it, that's it.
You can't use
Like,
the
it's
gun
done.
anymore.
Yeah, it's done.
Really?
They're disposable. Yeah, because they're supposed to be made for like
Video games
so that
never
like
taught me that.
because you like you wouldn't want to just
Keep
like
reloading
carry
that,
that
right?
around with you and shit, right? So if you like fucking say like grab that and like shoot it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just like throw it and you're like, all right, cool. But the thing is they're really cheap. They said $1,500. Like, what?
1,500
That's
bucks
pretty- that's
to
pretty cheap
use
when it comes to,
one
like,
time
illegal
though.
guns, man.
Yeah, I know.
But to use one time.
Ex-
But that's
Exactly.
like when you realistically, so like illegal guns are pretty fucking expensive, especially when they're clean.
No, he's talking about like the fucking military. Like that's
Oh,
their
really?
price, like $1,500 and $200 for the fucking bullet.
Shell.
Yeah, yeah. And it
Which
like
both
comes
you're
as a
shooting off
package or
once.
something, and
Yeah,
you gotta
right.
fucking like I said. He said you can only shoot it once.
That's
It's all
nuts.
government money, so.
It's fucking crazy
Yeah, our
though,
tax
man.
fucking money, bud.
Oh yeah.
And in the states,
I mean,
like
Canada's not really spending that
65%, like
Yeah,
65% of their taxes go to military.
I
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah,
That's
but
how
barely
America's
anybody's paying
ran.
taxes though, man.
In
In
America?
the states,
Yeah.
the amount of like states that don't have state tax. Like,
I just seen-
Mark Stone didn't want to sign up. Speaking of sports, I do have some sports. To talk
Hey, wait! If anybody wants to call us on Zoom, it's 4gaudio613@gmail.com on Zoom. You can call us up and talk to us if you want, because
Yeah,
we didn't
yeah.
have any of our guests Zoom in.
That's right.
So hit us up if you want to fucking get at us. 4gaudio613@gmail.com. Sorry, man.
It's all good.
Hey.
Was it? Yeah, Mark Stone. The reason
Yeah,
he didn't
yeah.
want to sign in Ottawa. Like, think of how high our tax is here. Like, realistically, my income tax, I'm getting 20% taken off of every
20%,
paycheck. And I only
yeah, yeah.
make like $1,000 a paycheck, maybe $1,200 a paycheck. So that's a lot. You're looking at like $250 coming off there.
Bro.
I imagine how much the tax bracket is for somebody who's making like $9 million in a season.
I just got my first paycheck, got back to work a couple weeks ago,
Man.
got my first paycheck, lost almost, it was like $650 on my first paycheck.
I'm guessing you cleared like what 12 at the end of it.
Oh, it was more than
Like,
that.
Net was 12.
Oh, it was more than
More than
that.
that.
Okay,
Yeah, we
Um,
won't.
but yeah, definitely $600 gone.
Yeah.
That's wild,
It's
man.
crazy. And then at the end of the year, they're like, you still owe
Yeah, I always end up owing.
$150. You know,
Well,
it's like,
yeah,
or
let's
like
get
200.
the
It's like
up. Oh, yeah, so he goes to Las Vegas. He goes to Vegas where there's no state tax.
Right.
Signs a 10 or what? I think it's like an $8.5 million deal, so
Yeah.
close to 9.
Makes it to the finals.
He gets
Cup
every
finals.
single red cent of that.
Yeah.
Every single red cent.
Man, he's just fucking smiling
He doesn't have
after
to pay
leaving
any
the
taxes
Sens, and I don't
there
blame
whatsoever.
him. I don't blame him, man.
Fuck no, I fucking
Getting out
too.
of here would have been the best thing for all of those players,
Yeah.
man.
If,
Fuck.
if somebody told me like, oh yeah, like you could do what you're doing here and lose this much, or you could go and do it there and lose absolutely nothing. Fucking right, I'd leave in a heartbeat.
Everyone's gonna leave. Yeah, everyone. Oh man. Anyone watch any of The Last Dance on Netflix?
I got up to episode 7. So
even know
like,
what
You
that
watch
is.
any of that?
Right.
No. You were wearing a Chicago Bulls hat the other week, and I was gonna bring it up.
Oh,
too.
that. Sorry. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the Michael
No.
Jordan
I
documentary.
watched like 40 seconds of it, maybe.
Okay.
But I it's not that I turned it off because I didn't like it. It's that I turned it off because I was like, I don't have time for it right
Yeah,
now, and I
sometimes
know
you
I'm
can't,
gonna
like,
get right
emotionally
into
invest.
it.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah. I was
It's-
like, I don't want to get to the end of the first episode and be like, all right, now I can go do what I'm doing.
Actually,
I wasted that hour, but then as soon as you get to the end, you're like,
More.
next one,
Yeah,
yeah.
man,
Like,
it's-
especially that, I feel
it's-
like I'd
well,
be.
it's
Oh,
over
yeah,
now.
man.
And the
It's
first
definitely
speech,
binge-worthy.
it was either the like the opening scene of it, or it was the trailer for it. But you know how you just click on something and it starts playing.
Yeah.
It was him, and I'm pretty sure he was like in tears,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
he was talking, and I was like, oh shit, I'm
This
like,
is too heavy
I
for me
can't
to
do
get
it right
into.
now. Yeah,
Man.
yeah. I don't have the
You
time.
just
Like,
watched episode 7.
No,
And,
no.
and
So I
I've been
haven't, I
saying.
haven't watched episode 7.
Okay.
So I'm up to there.
My favorite is episode 7.
Right now, basically, so Styles, if you're wondering what it is, the Last Dance is what Phil Jackson called
The last
the
season.
1998 season when Michael Jordan won his sixth
Yeah.
title in what was it, 70
Wow.
years?
The Bulls.
Yeah,
I would
in
say.
their little
Pippen
dynasty
as
run
well.
and everything like that. Jerry Krause, the GM, had told Phil like,
This is it.
you could win 82 games and the championship. You're not coming back. And Michael said that he was going to retire if Phil left. So it was like
did
so,
they win the 6th one?
They did.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think that was in the trailer too. It was like
Yeah.
talking about the 5th going on
like
to the
if
6th.
if you don't know what happened, they do a good job at keeping you on your seat as to like, oh, did they win this game? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
for
Man,
sure.
I used to have the fucking. So apparently Nike doesn't make them anymore, but Nike used to be the maker of them, and it was like his rookie jersey.
Yeah.
And
It's
so I used to
Adidas
have his
now, I think.
I used to have
Or
his
at
rookie
least
jersey,
Franchise.
and whenever I bought it, I used to wear it around and shit. And someone was like, "Hey man, like they stopped making those. Like Nike
Yeah.
stopped making his jersey, but that was who originally made
Okay,
it.
yeah.
So they were like, keep
Yeah.
that shit, but
Well-
it's all haggy.
Well, so when Jordan was a rookie, man, he signed a $250,000 deal with Nike, and he was like the first.
That's
That was
fuck,
big money
man.
back
Yeah, I
then.
was gonna say
That's
that.
back in the 80s.
You hear about
man.
LeBron James though?
Oh, dude,
Before
he's-
he stepped foot on an NBA court,
Yeah.
he signed a contract. It might even been before he
It
was
his,
like drafted.
billion dollar deal with
It
Nike,
was
yeah.
no, it was
Not a billion.
$90 million for 3 years
Yeah,
with Nike.
I would believe that. Not
Sorry,
a,
I think no, it
Nah.
was his billion dollar deal that came next, I believe.
90
he
million,
probably just
and then
forged that.
No.
it was
They
either
gave him-
just
they gave
before
him-
or
they
just
gave him a
after he
3-year.
signed with Cleveland,
Cleveland,
or like
yeah.
got drafted.
They drafted.
No,
him,
because
yeah.
LeBron signed a billion dollar deal with Nike.
Are you fucking
It
kidding
might have been
me?
after. It would have been after that because even this was whenever they were talking about he sold more jerseys than Jordan
Yeah.
before he played a fucking game
Yeah.
in the
That's
NBA.
wild.
Yeah, like his rookie season, he sold more rookie jerseys than
I
Jordan
think
did.
that I'm not taking away from how good he is because he's a fucking
It was
beast
media.
all
It's media.
around.
It's
Yeah,
media.
But he wasn't as good as they said he was gonna be.
Who?
LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay,
He
He's
so it was in 2015. LeBron signed a lifetime endorsement deal with Nike, likely to pay him over $1 billion.
so,
That's-
yeah.
By the
that's
time he's
more
64.
recent than I
Yeah.
expected.
But that would have been after. That would have been way after.
Way
I
after.
knew he signed a
Yeah, because that's only 5 years ago.
I
just
figured
wanted to
that
check
had
that.
to have been
Yeah,
at the-
good
yeah,
fact
no.
check.
So I had to have been between 2010 and now. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, there's no way LeBron back then would have.
No.
No
So-
one would have paid him $1 billion back then. But
No, but
he's so there's no one denying that LeBron is great. But when it comes down to, you know what I'm saying, like, basically not letting the team lose. You know what I mean? Like, he's been there 6 times. He lost.
LeBron's had his meltdowns in the playoffs. It's happened.
Yeah, but man, MJ always found a way to win.
He's a good leader, man.
I don't-
MJ lost. MJ lost.
He did, man.
And that's-
Admittedly so, but not much.
But we don't talk about that with MJ. With LeBron, especially, and like this is what I'm talking about. LeBron sold more jerseys than MJ because of the media.
Right.
LeBron is under a bigger microscope.
Well, also you
than
got
Jordan
to
ever was because of how big the media is now. You've got guys on small little podcasts
you also
like this
got
talking
to
about
take
it.
this into.
I was just about to say that,
effect.
right? The time
Jordan-
difference between like his
Jordan
time and LeBron's time, it's
boosted
like
the NBA
Right.
and gave LeBron
And,
the
like,
platform.
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
exactly.
True.
He
So,
he paved the way
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So
The sports media is absolutely huge now. Like you
Oh,
literally
yeah.
have the NFL network, you have the NBA network, you have the NHL network, you
Right,
have, you
right.
have networks that are dedicated to European
Each,
football,
yeah.
Australian football. Even you've got ESPN, what 8? I think they're
yeah,
up to now or
there's a
something
whole
like that.
bunch. Yeah.
So
man.
like there's so much fucking sports now. There's so much people talking about sports, and there's and like people that aren't even getting paid to talk about sports are still talking about sports. Here I am talking about it right now.
Yeah.
The Ocho.
It can be
Yeah,
a
yeah,
passion.
The Ocho.
Yeah.
So LeBron, especially
Fucking A, Cotton.
Yeah,
Fucking
epic,
A.
bro, the reason LeBron blew up was because he became a superstar out of high school in the infancy of YouTube.
Right. Yeah, and
Think about it.
and
What was your first exposure
Kobe,
to LeBron? It was a YouTube video. And
Yeah,
that was when
that's
YouTube
right.
videos started getting billions
booming,
of views.
and
That was when
and-
it started happening.
Right, man. You're so right because Kobe did
I
the
don't know.
same
YouTube
thing.
was like 2007,
Kobe
was it
didn't
not?
Enter
6, 7, yeah.
Yeah.
when what YouTube?
Yeah.
hit?
Yeah.
2005, I bet was the year.
I think we already looked this
So
up.
we're at
It was
17 years,
established.
So LeBron was 2002 then.
Oh yeah, that might have been when Google bought it. Was
I
2007.
would
but,
bet that though, like what we're talking about happened in 2007, but YouTube
Well,
was made in
Because
2005.
I'm pretty sure LeBron was like around 2004, 2005.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Because I remember, I'm pretty sure I was still in high school.
Fuck,
I was in elementary school.
Bro,
100%.
we were on YouTube 15 years ago.
Oh yeah,
That's
man. We
holy
can still
shit.
find that shit.
I know,
man.
that's hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
still on.
What
there,
was it
man.
again? 05?
It is 05.
Yeah, okay,
February
yeah.
14th,
'Cause
05.
even-
That's when it was founded.
Founded, yeah.
Yeah, because even then, talking about being on it, I remember someone told me they saw a video of me on the internet, and I was like, what the fuck? And this is even like before Facebook and shit like that. So I'm like,
Right.
what the fuck? Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? I'm like, wasn't me. Like, I didn't do any videos on the internet. And then someone showed it to me, and it was just that we were at a party after the bar, and like someone was doing something stupid. They were wearing their fucking shirt with their like pants or with their legs through their like sleeves. And their arms through their sleeves,
Oh,
so they look
yeah.
like a little like
Yeah.
one of those little things on Mario.
Yeah,
Like a little, like- but anyway, short story long is they were doing that, and I guess me and my buddy were just like in the background of the video or whatever. But no, so point is like thinking of the time that I would have been like 19 or 20,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
would have been like 05, 06. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I do remember we looked it up before, and I'm pretty sure 2007 might be when they sold it to Google.
Google. I'll
That would
find
make
out.
sense. Did what was the LeBron James documentary about his high school career? What was that called? That was called The Fantastic Four. I wanted to say the Fab Five, or no? You guys ever see that one?
No.
That's a good
that'd be
one,
good,
man.
yeah.
It's all about like him in high school.
Yeah.
Oh man, dunking like crazy. you
I'd like
know?
to see a fucking Allen Iverson
Oh,
Well, it was-
documentary or like
man,
our
yeah,
test or
bro,
something.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's a
On
list, but I just
Artest,
think our
dude,
test has
wow.
a lot of shit.
Oh
Like,
man.
because he's the one that
He
punched
was-
out the fan, right?
Yeah,
or not
oh,
punched
yeah,
him out, but like
yeah,
had the fight.
oh, yeah.
Like,
got no
unless,
fight.
unless you were watching like
He reminds me of Sean Avery, you know, like he's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Sean Avery of the
Of it,
NHL,
yeah.
like unless you like back in the day, unless you were like locally watching or like in the same state as whatever young NBA talent in high school was like doing like their biggest things before they get drafted out of high school. Which they can't do right now. You've heard about the one and done rule recently, right? Where they have to play 1 year in NCAA to get
Oh, yeah.
drafted into the NBA.
I mean, that I guess I don't know, right?
So the NCAA, so
Since it's
certain
been done already, it seems like it's
certain-
not fair.
certain
But
states,
you
certain
should,
states are starting to allow schools to pay student athletes,
yeah.
but what they're already recruiting now, especially with schools shut down and all
They
these student
fucking pay
athletes
them
not being able
anyways.
to get exposure, is the fucking G League, like the NBA's
Yeah,
G
that's
League, is like, why don't you
booming.
guys just come and play here as like a fucking 17-year-old, 18-year-old,
Yeah.
and like sign a contract and like actually start making money, and you can blow up on that scene instead.
Yeah.
And like, think about it. Imagine if we had 2 fucking awesome basketball leagues to watch.
Yeah. That'd be sick, man.
That'd be
I
fucking
mean,
fantastic.
What was the one with the or with the trampolines?
that's slam ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was some good shit.
Yeah,
that was
man.
on Spike
Oh,
back in the day.
fuck.
Man,
yeah.
they got that shit in 2K20 right now. Eh?
Really?
Oh yeah.
No way.
Yeah, oh yeah, they got there's like pads that you can bounce on and dunk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do front flips and shit. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bud. You should
Swear
get
to
it.
God myself.
Man,
I
I'm
have 2K20.
You do?
Yeah, I've just been playing GM mode, man.
Oh,
Yo,
dude.
you should see you should see my Raptors. It's bad. It's really bad.
Well, you're always good with that shit.
oh
anyway.
man. Yeah.
But shout out to sports, I guess.
Yeah, fucking.
That's what's up.
So
that was the
so the NHL is like hammered out.
I think they should just come back in October.
So
man.
no. What they're gonna do is they're gonna do this playoff style formula where the top 4 teams in each conference. So you have the 2 conferences. The top 4 teams play each other in a round robin style for seeding. So who's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right.
and then the bottom 8 all play each other in one game to play one of those 4 seeds in a series of hockey. So like
That's
people
fucking-
who were in but barely in, and people who are out but barely out now have the
Have a
chance to play
chance.
each other to get into the real playoffs. And the guys who are basically already locks to be in are going to be playing each other to see who gets like the easier matchups. So I think that's a really good style. I don't know, like.
It is a good format.
So
but-
you're still gonna have your draft lottery, but it's the really, really bad teams, and like the teams that kind of suck but were on the bubble are getting a chance to be in. But like if they actually did suck that bad, and you're up against a team that's really on the cusp of being in the playoffs, they're gonna lose. So like it's a fair enough chance, but who knows? Those fucking kids
They
might be able
could-
to like
right.
claw a fucking win out of there. So I think
That's
it's gonna
cool.
promote really, really good hockey. I think
Yeah,
it's gonna be like do or die.
It'll be different without fans.
From the article that I was looking at, it didn't really look like they were gonna fucking do a series to start off with. Like it looked like,
Just a game.
but yeah, those 4 teams are all gonna play each other to determine seeding.
Right.
So that's like 3 games on each conference. So you have 3 games there, and then I'm thinking what they're gonna do is they're gonna do like one single elimination game for the other 8 teams against each other
Yeah.
to determine the 4 that move on, and then we're gonna have a regular style playoff format after that, where it's 7 games. Boom, boom,
Okay. All right.
Because
Well, that's interesting,
Sure,
man.
yeah.
it's a round robin style tournament at the beginning to
Yeah.
see who's got the easier matchups, and then you have the elimination games right
Go
away.
Ducks.
It's gonna promote some good hockey.
I agree, man. Yeah, no doubt. And you know what, man? Well, it's just good to see things like that starting up again.
Well, yeah.
Honestly, I think there's only 2 sports in the whole world that have went back at it.
The
and
MLB is kind of back there already.
I think they're deciding still, but it's the UFC just held an event
Yeah.
not long ago, and
Apparently
I
it
was
was
watching.
crazy too, man. It was like a
I
bunch
heard-
of fucking big events put
And
together.
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
tested positive for COVID.
Yeah,
they
and they
kicked him
got him
out.
out of there.
Yeah,
and they
got him
didn't
out.
infect everybody.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like clearly there are like measures that you can take. You can test athletes pregame and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So like the technology's there to be safe about this. So I think we could probably get it back. Orlando decided to say like, hey, come down and use Disney
Cal
World.
Resume.
Yeah,
So-
well, the idea is just like the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're.
But
The big
you still have the
concern is-
TV contracts, and like when those TV contracts come in, the TV revenue basically makes up.
Man, ticket
but
sales
then-
is going to be a
but
big
then
loss,
fucking
though, right?
It's
Yeah,
funny
but-
you say that, and they're trying to do by whatever
But
means necessary to keep those going. But then you got local businesses going out of fucking business
Yeah,
after
yeah,
40
yeah.
years. Tracy's Ice Cream out of business permanently.
Yeah.
They just closed, eh?
There's a
Yeah,
lot of people
yeah.
who are just
and
saying fuck it.
Flamingo as well. And Flamingo as well.
There's a lot of people who are saying fuck it. They were on the bubble
Yeah.
to begin with.
Well, Tracy's Ice Cream, man, like,
Yeah, it was-
fuck.
it
Come
was a
on.
staple, but like
fuck.
realistically, it was a
It's a hit.
family-owned staple. They were probably like really close to shutting down to begin with.
Well, they fucking deliver all over the place.
Yeah,
Like, there's
man, they
fucking
make
like
their own
man, yeah,
shit.
and
Yeah,
there's
they
like
make
places that you roll up and they like sell Tracy's
Yeah,
ice
that's
cream
right.
on
Yeah,
the
that's
cone
right.
and shit.
That's
Like,
right.
You know what? They probably sold it. They probably sold their facilities to
yeah,
some
you're
other
probably
big
right.
market.
But yeah, man,
It's unfortunate that they're forced to do
Everybody
something
be
like that,
selling
though,
out
and
these
like,
days,
yeah,
man.
and
So we
then
got
you know,
that one on here
and then
anyways.
athletes who have the money to stay all right are like being the main focus at. Let's get you back out there.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
guys are hogging the chat.
yeah,
We're on
yeah.
the chat.
No, I'm just joking.
I meant to show you actually.
Is there anything going on?
Yeah, check
Well,
it
I
out
showed
right
it to
there.
Nikki earlier. She popped in and called us a bunch of weenies.
I saw
Yeah, gang. Oh shit, everybody's up in
Everybody,
this.
yeah.
Bully Zone gang.
Bully, Chris.
Sorry, I'm just taking a minute to read the
Nikki,
comments just
Rocky.
because, yeah, we got fucking,
That's
we
right.
got Intergalactic in here.
Hey.
Wagwan.
Oh, Intergalactic, what's going on?
Gang, Nikki, a couple of weenies. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Rocky. Oh, shout out Rocky, man.
Yeah.
Rocky just picked up one of the fucking shirts with our face on it.
Thank you for reminding me. I was actually gonna do that when
show one of those?
That's, yeah, for
I
sure.
well, I already showed mine. And I was wearing mine.
Oh, true say. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know where they are. They're probably in the bottom.
Yeah. Either way.
We'll take pictures and put them
yeah,
on the
that's
Instagram.
Right. Jonesy had it. Has it.
But yeah, hopefully you saw it earlier. If not, rewind and check it out.
But yeah, so like the NHL came out with this cool model to reopen.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the NBA is gonna flirt with a similar idea like that. Orlando has like given their facilities, and there's been a lot of states that have like opened up the ability to like come back and play sports. So I think that there might actually be real things to report on soon again.
Oh, no doubt. It's already happening. And then
Right?
UFC and NASCAR start up again.
Oh well, yeah, NASCAR is
But,
easy. All you do is turn left for 3 hours. That's not a real sport.
But actually, speaking of opening, our sponsors are opening again. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we got the message.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the
man.
whole like what do you call it? The whole reserve is opening
Reserve,
too.
yeah.
Yo,
We
shout out to
opening up the
Greengrass.
Boys.
Yeah.
Oasis.
Yeah, shout out to Greengrass Oasis at
Derek, how you doing?
Pickwackinagon.
Nice pronunciation.
I was hoping I was like, oh, I did it right. That's why I hesitated to. Shannonville.
Where else?
Shannonville and Tyndonega. That's Greengrass Oasis, the one with the fucking palm tree on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they hold us down.
That's right.
Pretty sick. I haven't seen them for a little while. They told me to stop by. I'm gonna go see them and give them like a air fist bump.
It's the elbow,
bump.
elbow taps.
Actually, they.
Elbow bump.
At me later. I need to know if the powwow's still going on.
Yeah,
That's a big thing.
gang. Fucking right. Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure my dad went to like, or was gonna go anyways. The
Well, we
chief had like his birthday or something like that last year, maybe, or 2 years ago, even maybe. It was like a big birthday, like.
I'm sure he has it every year.
No, but it was like a big one. Like it was like like 50 or 60 or like like
Yeah,
it was like a
solid-
big
like
milestones.
Milestone one.
But no, my dad wanted me to go with him or whatever, and I thought about going to check it out, but I don't know if he even went. I can't remember, but I obviously didn't go. But no, I want to check it out. I think that'd be cool.
Short story long.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
They're always long. Yeah. Like, oh, how'd you get here?
Yeah.
Oh man, 1 sec. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
So like it all started when.
So you drove here? Yeah.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
before I drove here, I ran into this guy in the parking lot of.
So, I guess the Wu-Tang Clan made a rather large donation.
Yeah, seriously, guys. If
For the second
Wu-Tang's
time?
gonna donate to Ottawa Food Bank, so should you. You go to the LCBO. They're asking you for prompts like. You don't know who's actually like needs to go to the food bank right now. Just
Absolutely.
do it.
Hey man, I'll say I've had to.
Yeah.
Legit. Like I've been there where I'm
Yeah,
like,
man.
fuck, I cannot afford food. Like I gotta
Yeah.
go. Like legit, I've been there. So
Sometimes like bills come up and you're like, oh damn, I don't have any food in the fridge. You go to the food bank and they hook you up with like a loaf of bread and here's some bologna. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's a
You can
fucking
live.
lifesaver
Yeah.
for sure.
Do you have a toaster?
And like yeah, you say you don't know people who go to the food bank. Well, you don't know who goes to the food bank. So
That's right, man. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people go there and discreet because of, you know what I mean?
it's not a big thing to ask $2 on top of your booze money, man.
Yeah.
Like, give him $2, give $5. You said you donated 10 the other day.
Yeah. I
That's
said
awesome,
fuck it.
man. Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you got? She said 2, 5, and 10.
Hey.
Give
So
him 10.
I'll give you 10.
Good enough for Wu-Tang, good enough for me, right?
Fucking right. Yeah. Well,
That's right, man.
And at the same time too, that's something like I'll always give to. I actually kind of stopped giving to cancer because like I know that guy makes a lot of money.
And I agree, actually.
But
you know,
I
Makes a lot
always
of money and it apparently doesn't do a lot of work.
I always give to
That's
Chio.
my
If it's
opinion.
Chio, I always give them money because I was in Chio.
Yeah, for
and
Same with me,
help
man.
kids out.
and then
It's kids, yeah.
and then
I've
just
been in
the
there
food
too.
thing hit me the other day. They're like, oh, because there's
course.
one like it's like I think it's I forget now, but there's one that it's like fuck. Either way, anytime I see it, I'm like no. But they were about to ask me. I think it's normally at the liquor store, but either way, they were about to ask me, and I almost went no. And then they said food bank, and I'm like, oh, you know what?
Yeah,
like
man.
that's like you know what I mean, like something that I take for
Appropriate,
granted, like
right?
you know, like I
Food
eat
bank and
food, like-
children, man. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and then whenever we brought fucking what was a big bag each to the food drive show that
What's
Dynamic throws on every
oh,
year.
that's right, yeah,
It's
yeah.
our first time, doing that, but
Oh,
it'll
true.
definitely be a yearly thing. That's for
That's
sure.
right, yeah, and the turkeys and shit. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Turkey
how
gang.
many did we get again?
5, I think.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, we did that
Y'all know
big,
if
man.
grocery stores still take like food bank donations? Like you
I don't
can, you can like buy
I'm
like
not-
meals or something.
I
like
actually
I'm
know
sure
right
you
now one of
could.
my friends is taking donations for like she's making a whole bunch of like Rick Simpson oil for cancer patients.
Oh, man.
And like a whole bunch of people. So there's people donating like pounds of weed. There's people donating, like $20 here and like $100 here and shit like
Oh,
that.
man, that's cool.
No, like it's she's making it and giving it to people who like need it.
Need
right?
it, right? Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
probably a
and,
lot
like-
of patients that can't afford their medication.
Yeah, and like they
That's-
make it. They
that's-
make it
yo,
for them.
that's
So they make it for
shit. Oh,
themselves.
man.
They make it for themselves, and then make it like for edibles because they make a lot of edibles.
Right.
They do those dinners and stuff that I went to.
Yeah.
So they use all the RSO and that stuff, but so I guess they decided.
the same girl.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess they,
follow her on IG.
I guess they decided like, well, like if we could get a bunch of people to round some shit up, and like I said, there's some people donating like pounds of weed, like like a couple
Yeah,
ounces,
man,
like
that's
whatever.
Awesome,
That's
though.
Um,
Hell, man.
but yeah, no, I actually thought about doing something with that too, because
Yeah.
like fucking,
we should.
because that's even like like directly going somewhere,
Man,
like
absolutely. That's helping
like
someone,
compassionate.
man,
Why don't,
yeah.
why don't we like throw together a raffle? Proceeds go to food bank or something like that.
Hey, Bal,
Yeah.
well, we should think about putting on the show. Well, it's not going to happen
Yeah,
this
you know,
year.
we
I'm
have to
fucking
Yeah, I
find
know, we
something,
need-
Let's add
so-
Jim Watson in the comments and see if.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? If you buy a 4G T-shirt, we'll donate proceeds to the food bank. Why not?
There you go.
if you buy a t-shirt, we'll give you a t-shirt. Shit. That reminds me of I mean it's not related whatsoever, but workaholics fucking they're sitting there. It's again a long story, but so they're sitting in this guy's garage. Like they go to a work party and they go to this guy's garage, coworker's garage, and they're like smoking in the garage. And the one guy's like making up all these stats, or not stats, but like these like facts, and the other guy's like snopesing them. So he's like, actually, he's like, back in the fucking day, like the Aztecs or whatever, they called the garage because that's where they would go rage. and so he's like, nope, just snoped it. Anyways, so they're sitting there and they find this box of toys and they're playing with the toys and shit, and they're like, what the fuck is this shit? And it was like new toys. Like they were not real toys, they were made up obviously, but it was like a mix between like something old and something fucked up. So it'd be like, oh, like look at this, like how like there'd be like cassette tape turns into a robot, it's like Tagger turns into a robot. He's like, oh, like look, this like lion like turns into a car, and like shit like that. Like it was just weird.
There's some kind of morphing to it.
Yeah, and like it's just like weird knockoff shit of like stuff that we had like younger. He's, man, remember the stuff we had? It was cool. Like, and he even mentions, I think he mentions the tape cassette thing, and he's like, man, he's like, we should go to Toys R Us and rob them with our money. And he's like, freeze. He's like, give me all your toys. Take $100. Yeah, rob them with their money.
This is a robbery. Stick them up.
Mhm.
Throw it like a.
So yeah, we're gonna donate all of this.
Oh, man.
No,
That's
I feel bad even saying that. That was super rude.
I'm down to like find something myself though.
It's
to,
for
like,
sure.
drop in raffle.
Yeah, I was thinking about giving that lady some money towards her RSO thing. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
See, the thing about a raffle is like you have to get people's money, and like it's hard to do a raffle through the internet. You know? Yeah. Well, you'd have to be like, you get like 3 tickets for $5, and like we'll mail you your half of the tickets, or like, unless you could get like an app or something like that like does the raffle for you. But yeah, there'd be a lot to it. But if you did it like at a show, like you're saying, Ben, like did it at a show
whenever that's allowed again.
Yeah, and then had the raffle like that night, and like here you go, like 50-50 or something. Like here's your 50. And we're giving the rest to fucking...
Get a fucking bingo machine.
This half goes to hookers. I thought you said it was for the kids. The kids are coming too. Oh, shit. I'm a bad person. But I sometimes make bad jokes. All right, never mind.
You're a funny guy, bro. Make good jokes.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna say, man? One of our guests, I forget. I think it was Affy, the Affy dude. Oh, breaking it. He said that he said hopefully we have a bong for him to smoke.
Oh shit!
So maybe we'll have to get into that bong that we promised to give people. So we'll give you something just as equally as cool.
That's right.
You're not getting the Zach Morris phone. Apparently my next box is a little dab rig that looks like a Zach Morris phone, like the big like square.
No way, yeah. No way, a rig.
Yeah, I'm
That's
stoked.
Cool, man. Yeah.
Actually, my new one, I gotta show it off. Dude.
Like one of
Show it
those
off.
cube Motorola's back in the day.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, the brick.
You know. Oh
brick
yeah.
Phone. You got a brick phone?
Oh, here it is.
Oh, you took I seen that in a photo.
The champagne bottle.
That's awesome.
Fucking A, cotton.
What does it say on the front of it?
It says, so it says like 1V, which is 4, and then there's like a dot and 2 X's. So I mean, like it would be maybe like 24 or something.
Or
like,
no.
I don't know. It's backwards, right? So it'd be like, it'd be like
42.
14.
4 and 2.
It'd be 14.
Or 4 and 20.
14.
420.
You're right. 14.
It's 420.
It's
420, bro.
420, yeah, because there's a dot
420.
between them, so it's like 4 and 20. But you know what I'm saying, eh?
Yeah.
Nice save.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying, right? Because like,
right.
yeah, because if you put like a 1 before the 2 X's, it's like fucking, or it'd be X, 1X would be like 19.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was thinking.
Or wait, what X? 1X would be 19.
Yeah.
No. That's
X,
9.
1X.
That's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I was thinking that it says 4 and 20. So I was thinking it was like 4 before 20.
Right.
So I was saying 14 because I was thinking 6 before 20.
Yeah.
But I was thinking 16, right? Because it's like 2 X's with the 4. Anyways.
Yeah, I get you.
It says 420. We're fucking stoners. It's all my fault. But then it says like established 2015 Los Angeles, and it has like a little like smoke thing, like a joint with smoke coming off
And
of
that's
it.
sick, bro.
But yeah,
I like that.
it's kind of like a weird little color. Sparkles in the light.
Fucking
and
round
shit.
it up.
Yeah.
That's.
But yeah. Again, I'm not getting paid to say this, but that's from Daily High Club. It's pretty sweet.
No, I can't
Man, that's sick.
say this.
I like
I'm
that.
not getting paid yet.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Checks in the mail, apparently. But yeah, no, it's pretty sweet. I like it. It chugs nice and shit.
No doubt,
Yeah.
man.
Pretty cool. I'm gonna get a cork for it.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet, man. Get
That
2
would be-
corks for it so you could like keep the water in it.
Yeah.
I guess you don't really like travel with the
Travel
bong
with
too
the
much.
boy,
Yeah. Just like from the living room to the
Right.
kitchen.
That's sick.
But yeah. Shout out to fucking bongs and shit.
Yeah.
You ever smoked bong before?
Oh man. I don't know if I could handle smoking like an actual like weed bong.
I literally can't smoke.
Flower bong.
No?
No. That's
Speaking of flower,
I'm trying to get off of man.
bro, I smoke bong
Fuck.
now, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I gotta stop.
yeah, you know, like apparently bong's like a white people thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
totally.
It
white.
definitely-
It's
No
been a
doubt.
long time for like I haven't smoked a bong in fucking
I gotta stop.
God knows how long.
Man,
Oh,
it takes
man.
it takes me like 6 seconds to roll a joint now. So
A
it's
pipe, on the other
Yeah,
hand,
no,
like I've hit
it's
a
like-
pipe
it's like-
every once in a while.
Yeah,
I was just
pipe.
like,
Yeah, I don't
pretty
mind a
good,
pipe.
man.
I found the chick with the pipe. I always found like a pipe was like make me like cough and hurt my throat and shit. But then I like found like I'll like pack it in the pipe so that because you think about it, like the joint's like packed, right? So whenever you puff off, you get like a nice puff.
Yeah.
And also too, I find you just go and it burns away. So I'll like pack it down in the pipe. and like kind of hit
Just
it,
tiny,
and let it
like-
like burn
Exactly.
down,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
as
just
if it's like packed to the
slightly
cigarette,
light
like,
the top, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, like that's it. I've so I went to Belize and I got this stone crafted, like they
Oh, yeah.
just like it's like a tiny little thing. So it's just like
Was
a
it-
really small
was it
one hitter
super
pipe.
Smooth.
Yeah, yeah.
It
It's
wasn't
like
that harsh.
the only part, like bad part about it is like if you like haul on it too hard, you're getting weed in the mouth,
In the mouth,
like
right.
big time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what
Uh,
she
And-
said.
reason why I don't
And
like it is-
I always found pipes rather harsh, but my one buddy had this like hand carved pipe from Mexico. There was like this lizard carved into it and everything, super sick, man. And I like even like to this day, I bet even the boys would agree, man. Like that was honestly the smoothest pipe I've ever smoked. The best pipe I've ever smoked.
Yeah.
hand carved wood.
And it's gone, yeah, it's gone. It was Cardi's pipe.
I remember the one you were talking about.
You're probably there, man. We smoked it playing at Horton. Fuck.
Was
That's
that the one?
one
Was
time.
that the one the fucking cops confiscated? When we were
No,
in
no,
St.
cops
Joe's?
never confiscated.
That happened to
one.
you guys too.
Whenever
Fuck,
we
that
got caught,
happened.
yeah,
I had an electric
when
pipe.
we got caught at
So,
St. Joe's,
actually,
we were rolling a 5 gram blunt.
This was a really fucking G story.
Oh, it is
we're in
a
behind
G
St.
story,
Joe's, okay?
fuck.
And Cardi's like rolling up a joint. Like there's paraphernalia
5 grams. We
all
got
over
5
the truck.
grams busted right there on a magazine.
it's
He's
a-
rolling a blunt.
It's a single like bucket seat in the truck.
Yeah.
Fucking homies fucking rolling the joint. We see the fucking lights in the.
We were
chairs
he
pop up.
parked in the most stupid spot though.
Yeah, it was really bad
like
spot.
the dumbest
Really,
spot,
really
man.
bad spot.
Like
So
for,
I-
you
I
would
tell
know.
him, like,
so
I'm like-
he parked. Like you know where the basketball court, like
Yeah.
that's like just in that lit, like he wasn't even behind the
yeah,
school.
yeah.
He
Right
was
out
like
in the open.
out by the dumpsters, man.
Yeah.
Like the dumbest spot you could be in.
So
Anyways.
homie's got an ounce on him, and we're literally just like, okay, like this is fucking great. I tell him, I'm like, throw the fucking like one that you're rolling out right now.
Yeah,
Out
so
of-
he
out of
took the
window,
whole
just fucking
sesh, 5
scatter
grams,
that.
gone out the
Sesh
window.
just out of the
Gone
window.
out the window.
Sesh-
Magazine under the seats, man.
Yeah,
Scales,
And then,
everything.
yeah, no, hold on.
Chucks it.
He's got the scale. He's like, what the fuck do I do with this? The transmission hump comes up underneath a Ford, like it goes right underneath the bucket seat. There's this lip that you can barely see shit. So I'm like, right there, boom. And he's like, tucks the ounce into his pocket.
Yeah, the ounce went into his sweater pocket because
fucking-
that's a key
The
fucking part of this
cops
story.
get us out, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And we were like, "We were rolling a joint," and he's like, "Oh yeah, where is it?" And we're like, "We threw it out of the window." When you guys came up, and he's like, "Uh huh." He's like, "We're gonna search the truck." We were like, "Okay." They search the truck. It looks right where the fucking scale is hidden. Black scale on a black transmission hump. Can't see jack shit.
Man,
so
legit, he
Oh.
didn't. Yeah,
they find
look
like
there.
this. They find this like extra bubbler for a bong. And like they were like, oh, this is paraphernalia and blah blah blah, and it was a little dirty and whatnot. They found the blunt wraps that were on the dash and everything, but they didn't find any weed. And they were like, huh. And like, what did the
So-
cops say to
No,
us? He
so
said, I'm
so
gonna let
this
you
is
search
so
yourselves.
yeah. He says, so I want you guys to search yourselves, is what he says.
what
All right,
kind of a
all right. So you know, we're doing it.
Me and him got nothing on us.
Car-
We're literally
Cardi
like,
was
turning out our
last.
pockets.
Anyways, so yeah, he's doing right. He goes for it, and he's wearing his sweater, a whole ounce, man, right there in his sweater pocket. He goes, he puts his hand in his pocket, and he goes, "Oh, you wanted our ID as well, right?" So, and then he diverts to the fucking ID, man. Never, like that was it.
And
Like
then-
never went back to anything, man.
Yeah, and he's like,
it was
all I had
right
in
fucking
those
there.
pockets was this Kleenex too.
Yeah.
And it was just the slickest fucking move
Nice.
ever.
Yeah.
that is
And-
pretty fucking
Yeah.
G.
Yeah.
Well, because like obviously, the ounces there. We're gonna search the truck. They probably would have found the scales.
Man,
and, like, and
The number
Yeah, a
of
single
times-
pat down, man, and he would have been fucked.
Oh,
Right,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
right, yeah, and he made us. Man, I have a story like that. So at the movie theater right by like just down the road, we same guy too. It was his car. Came with a couple other guys. We came down, man, and this time we got caught hotboxing his car in the back parking lot before watching Jackass 3D. Cops came on us, man, spotlight and everything, and then they were like pull the driver out, right? They wanted to know where he got the weed from. Like this night, it was all about like, where did you get the weed from? All right. He wouldn't give it up at all. I forget where it came from at that time. I honestly don't know where we got it. It could have been the one buddy we had, but we also
Pickwacknagon.
Maybe, yeah. Anyways, long
Hey
story
man,
short,
you're allowed to go
they
have it there, you're just
pulled
not allowed to
they
leave it,
they
say.
pulled
Yeah.
they
We
pulled us
hotboxed
all
the thing.
out,
Sorry.
searched everybody, man. I'm talking hands in every pocket, shoes off, everything.
Shoes
man.
off too. Fuck.
Yeah, man, it was intense, bro.
Sometimes, yeah.
And then so then everyone was back in, and then that's when they were like questioning him, right? And he was like giving them a hard time. They pulled one more person out of the car, and it was me. They pull me out, and they're like, "We're only talking to you. The driver is not cooperating. All we want to know is where you got the weed from, all right?" And then so my ID was from Renfrew, right? So we were all saying we were from Renfrew. We just came here to see a movie. I gave him a fake name, somebody from my high school, that everyone would probably agree, like, yeah, you would give them that name, okay? I'm not gonna say it.
Corey Trevor.
Very close.
Corey Trevor.
Um,
Trevor Leahy.
they were like, they basically let us go after that. Long story short, after that, we go into the theater, right? Buy our tickets. I put my ticket in my pocket and all that. And then, so you go up to the guy at that time to give the ticket, right? And I put my hand in my pocket, man, and I feel a joint in my pocket. And the cops, man, I swear to God, like, hands in every pocket, man, everything, man. And they didn't even feel the joint. And I swear to you guys that I put that sweater on, not knowing there was a joint in that.
Oh, that was
pocket.
like a.
It was already in there. 100%.
Can you imagine if you would have found it and you pulled it out? You'd have been like, "Holy fuck, I didn't know."
Yeah, right?
Sure, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So everyone's pumped because they're like, give us what weed you have, right? Man, it was hilarious too. It was probably close to an ounce. They go, "Oh, it's about a quarter or whatever," right? They're like, "Oh, the amount." We get back to the car. They were still there.
Which
like
town was this
half
again?
fucking
This is just down the road.
down the road, bro.
Oh, really?
We came from Renfrew, but we were going to the
Okay.
at the time it was Famous Players.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see Jackass 3D. What a time,
Fuck, yeah.
man.
Yeah, no,
Man.
cops are always just fucking stealing weed from kids.
Man, one time, man.
Remember the time they stopped
Yo.
us on 420?
Yeah, I do with
Man,
McNulty, right?
Yeah.
I was behind, the fucking mall in town.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not there anymore, but so, like, me and my buddy, he like had this fucking nice truck and shit, whatever. We'd always drive it around, didn't we? And so, like, fuck, we were, I don't know, fucking young, anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know, 18, 19 or something, right? Because that's when he bought the truck. But anyway, so we're down there. I had like a half ounce of weed, and I think I like sold him some or something, and then like we went for a fucking drive.
Yeah.
And we smoked a doop. So then we like came back into town, and I think we got some food or something, and then we went back to behind the mall, and we were at the park, like where you'd park to get your fucking driving test, like right there.
Okay.
And so we're parked there, and this was, I'm pretty sure the mall was like closed and shit. Like I think only the fucking drive test was open and shit.
Okay, yeah.
So we're sitting there, and I fucking pull out some weed, and Buddy had like this wooden thing he made at school, and I was rolling on it. So we're sitting in the truck rolling this joint, and like I remember too, it was like so sticky, it was almost kind of damp. It might have even been kind of damp too, but it was like so sticky and shit, and it's fucking reeked, man. And so we're in the truck, like windows up, like sitting there, and I'm busting up this weed, getting ready to roll a joint. And I look up, and there's lights coming around the corner, and I'm like, oh fuck, like who would be coming here? And it's always dark, right? So that's why I don't know it's the cops.
Totally, yeah.
And so I'm like, who would be coming back here? And I'm like, the cops would be coming back here.
Yeah,
So they fucking pull up like right in front of us, like blocking us off
Yeah.
from leaving, right?
for sure.
And so I'm like, oh fuck, like it's going down right now,
Yeah.
you know? And like I'm like fucking got like a half ounce of weed, like less 2 grams or something, right?
Just got crumbs in your pocket.
And like and so I got this joint, and I like take the fucking wooden thing, and I like put it under the seat all busted up, right? But it was just like a single black, like a regular cab. So
Okay.
it was like just a bench seat. And
Right.
like, so where I put it, you can't really put it under the
Under,
fucking seat.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
sitting there, right?
yeah, that was like the same with the truck that we
So
were in.
fucking we're sitting there, buddy comes up and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it smells like weed. All right, who's smoking the weed? And I'm like, well, I don't want him to get in trouble because he's driving, right?
Yeah.
And like this is even before there was any like rules about driving and stuff. But you still think like you don't want them to be the one smoking weed.
It was very light
So
back then.
I've used this a lot too. I'd be like, oh, like I was smoking the weed. Like no, I just jumped in the car after smoking some weed, and like he's good.
Yeah.
But no, so I'm like, yeah, I know, like I was smoking the weed. He's like, all right. Oh, and by this time he's like taking my buddy's license and shit, right? And so he's like, okay, well, he's like, so I'm just gonna ask you guys to like give me the weed or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. So then I'm sitting there and like he knows that I don't want to give him my bag of weed because it's a lot of weed, right? And then like he like obviously realized like maybe I'll just give him the 2 grams and he'll fuck off, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm sitting there and like he takes out the weed and gives it to the cop. But here's the thing: is I said I was smoking the weed to cover for the driver,
Right,
but the driver has the weed, yeah.
Totally, yeah.
And fucking so now I'm like, hey, this is opening up a whole door, and like I have the fucking weed under here. He's gonna find the weed. He's gonna search
that
me
means you
and find more weed, and like all this shit. So I'm like, oh man, like it's all going down.
Are they just asking for the weed so that they have the evidence to search you?
You don't have to give it to them.
Yeah,
they can like,
no.
no.
It's all.
But you know how many times
tactics,
they've left
really.
us alone because they're like, here, take the weed. They're
man,
like, cool,
so
see you
many
later.
Times,
because they
Like
just
any more? Yeah, here you go. Okay.
And they would just like, well, keep it or throw it
So
out
he
or
fucking
whatever.
he's like, okay, I'll be back. Goes and sits in the car. So now he's sitting in front of the car, and they have this like red light that they turn on in the car or whatever. And I don't know. I think it maybe like helps them see better or something. But anyway, so he's like sitting in the car. I'm like, swear he's like looking at the weed and shit. And so we're watching him sit in the car, and we're sitting there, and he like makes us fucking sweat it out, right? He drives away.
No way. I've never had that.
My buddy's like, what do I do?
Right, you're good to go.
What do I do? I'm like, I don't know.
They just fucking
I'm
plant a
like,
bomb
does he
on
have
the
your
car?
license? Because I thought the cop still had his license. I thought he went to the car to check his shit,
yeah, right?
So I'm like, does he have your license? He's like, no. I'm like, well, then
Oh,
we wait
shit.
until he fucking leaves.
Yeah.
And we fucking, because you can see right down the side of the mall until you go
right,
out, right?
yeah,
So I'm like, then we fucking leave.
Yeah.
He left. We pulled out and left. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, I pulled the joint out and rolled it. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, he didn't even look. I'm like,
sometimes they
that's
think they've like
crazy.
spoiled your whole night, or
well, he's just like, fuck it. I got some weed. Like, sweet.
Yeah. I know what I came for.
Boys are happy this weekend. No, I don't know.
What was it? In Renfrew, I've got like, I think I got like 5 tickets that I never paid that were for like, breaking an open carry law. Because I used to like drink my beer on the way to the bar, right? Like, I'd have like whatever pint, and like they'd come up to me and they'd fucking give me a citation. I've never once been subpoenaed for court. Like those weren't real citations. That was
the thing is
hustling.
they can actually. So I've had a fine disappear, and I like went to pay it, and they're like, no, you don't owe anything. So when I called them afterwards to be like, I owe this money to somebody, like I'm holding the fine, it's here, and they said that the cops have 7 days to file it, and if they like lose it or like decide that they don't want to give you the fine, they can like throw it away, and as long as they don't file it, then you don't like owe it. So I mean, like maybe, but for all of them,
okay,
I don't know if that would be the case for all of them, unless they were all the nice
that
cops
makes
or
more sense
something.
than like trying to say that it's a cash grab for cops. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, they don't get the money either.
So, I mean, like you would if you made a fake ticket, though.
But you don't pay them the money.
I mean,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
secretary's in on it.
That would have to go deep.
But you have to
You
go,
pay the, you
man.
go to the courthouse most
Well,
likely.
yeah, you
right?
pay at the
Rapids do go pretty
courthouse.
deep, though.
Well, true, yeah, but
But usually you pay at the courthouse, right? Like you'd have to go to Pembroke.
Yeah.
Now I'm pretty sure you can pay them in Renfrew, but we'd have to go to Pembroke. I actually have a lot of experience with fines. Too much.
Like I'd be lying if I didn't say that most restaurants in Ottawa like get away with their fire certification and don't have like certain fire
No, I'm
codes
good.
broken and shit because they make a small donation to the like the firemen's gala at the end.
Oh
of the
man, that's the way the world
Things like-
works.
That's what I'm saying. Is
yeah,
like,
of
is like,
course.
like, and that's a racket. That's a
Money.
racket.
People say money makes the world go around. It's greasy palms, man. Greasy palms make the world work,
All
bro.
you do is say, you know what, here's $500. Like, put that towards your
Well,
beer party. Okay, thank you.
And that's my whole fucking
Yeah.
So there's fucking the vitamin water thing, right? And then that relates to the 5G thing, and it's like
None of that.
it's like
please.
it's like
wait, how does that work?
okay. So the 4G, so the So the Food and Drug Administration can fucking be bribed to allow you to put whatever you want in the product that you're making, right? If you can pay them enough money, right? And like, so I mean, at the same time too, I don't know this for like a fucking stone cold fact, but it's rumored that that's the way they can be persuaded, right? And then so then in my mind, like I'm eating this thing, and the FDA approves everything that's in it. But this company's making a lot of money, let's say, or whatever, right? So it's like, can I trust that? Can I trust those people to be like, that's good for you to eat? You know, if it's like, I'm not saying, excuse me.
The answer is no.
But yeah, and I'm not saying that it's fact that they are fucking bribed and shit, but if like there's rumor of it, right? And like people say these things. So then I'm like, well, okay, and how that relates to the fucking vitamin water thing is that I was drinking a lot of vitamin water for a while, but then I like heard some shit. So then I looked into it, and there's like some ingredient in it that's like not good for you. And
Heard that.
and like so in my mind, you have on one side a bunch of so on one side you have the FDA, and they're like, yes, this thing is approved, you can put it in your Coca-Cola fucking vitamin water or whatever, your 50-cent vitamin water. It's approved, you're in. So then on the other hand, you have a bunch of people who have nothing to gain from it, saying like protesting against this like specific this is a specific ingredient that is harmful, right? And so then I'm like, okay, you have a bunch of people on one side that have nothing to gain from it saying something about it, and potentially scattered in there might be people who actually know the facts about that chemical or whatever, right?
A government agency and a company
that fucking can or apparently might have some fucking like might be taking some bribes and shit like that to do shit, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, someone that you may or may not be able to trust, and a whole bunch of people that really have nothing to gain from it. So I'm like, maybe, you know, like I'm just gonna stay away from it because of the controversy, right? So I don't drink it.
Have you watched The Irishman on Netflix?
Oh,
no.
yeah.
That'll help you understand, like, kind of like how a lot of things worked, or like before.
Back then, yeah.
Like there was a lot of fucking bribery. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that
Oh, it still is, man.
Think that anything
Of
has
course.
changed is completely naive.
Watch
Like,
the drug
numbers have
scandal
just
thing
gotten
on
bigger,
Netflix, man.
and they've gotten more legitimate. It's fucking campaign
take
donations. It's what
Yeah.
fucking.
What a movie, though, eh?
That was tough to get through. Though.
It
But
is
no,
hard
that's
to
what I'm
get
saying
through.
though, is it's everywhere, man. Like even
Yeah.
too, like it might not even be like bribes and shit, but like even in the like criminal system and shit, it's like the cops bring in the people because then they look good, right? And then they get the extra fucking time to go to the court, and then the fucking lawyer gets a job, the prosecutor gets a job, the fucking
Right.
judge gets a job. Everybody gets it, like they're like
Everybody
there
who
for a reason.
specializes in a certain area,
And like exactly, you're
Yeah.
keeping, because like, you know, like people who build houses, you gotta like have the need for
Yeah,
houses,
right.
right?
That's
So
where
then
racket is,
people
when
who like
all those
put
people understand
people
that they
through
can
the
corner
criminal
market.
system, people who do that, they need to make work for themselves,
Right.
which is the fucking people that are
Man,
doing the criminal
How
things,
many
right? Like,
how many technologies do you think have been suppressed to keep that sort of thing like going,
Oh,
right? You know
man.
what I mean? Like
yeah, for sure. Like yeah. Like I mean,
be
Well,
in
look at-
2020, like right now,
Okay,
like as much as the great awesome technology that we do have,
Yeah.
imagine how much further along we could be
yeah,
if
true.
it wasn't so much dependent on like, oh, I want X amount of $1 billion in profit and yada yada yada,
Yeah.
and actually like
so
Well, because the bigger people can even just have those things like closed down or like put them out of business, buy them, and fucking
exactly,
like, whatever. Yeah.
exactly.
you don't have to go
Um,
too far. Even like with cannabis, like what was the whole reason that it was like made illegal in the first place? Was the fact that A, it was a way to oppress minorities, but B, it was because that hemp threatened the lumber industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oil industry.
Absolutely.
Say a word,
after a while,
man.
too, and they were like, we have to demonize this thing that could take away these two massive industries that old white money has.
It's like
Yo,
it's
the
like it's like what
first-
tobacco was doing when fucking vaping was
Vapes
getting
came out,
popular.
yeah.
The
Exactly, yeah.
the first settlement in the States was called Jamestown. And it was fucking, the only reason I know this is because of fucking like the hemp or cannabis or whatever like that. Like I saw some documentary shit. So the only reason I know that that's the first settlement is because it's in this thing. But so Jamestown, and there was a bylaw that like everybody in the town had to grow hemp on their property.
Oh man, that
like
would
it was
be...
like in my mind, the way
That's a
that they
good
state
bylaw.
that, the way that they state that, it makes it sound like you're getting a fine if you're not growing the shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Hemp grows itself.
Man,
Nice.
you know, like, please, sir, may I have some more?
Yeah.
This eating like gruel and shit. Gruel is fucking like porridge, but it's cannabis seeds or like hemp
Okay,
seeds,
yeah.
but it's all mashed up.
It's probably got a
Yeah,
good
okay.
flavor to it.
I would
Oh, I
eat
bet.
that.
Yeah.
Some gruel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sprinkle some buds on that
Make
shit.
some gruel on it.
Man,
We'll
you know
have
what I
do it
want to make?
sometime for sure.
There's a guy. Actually, seriously, this is a little bit of a plug. Check him out. YouTube.
Yo, get me a hot plate, man.
Ras Kitchen, RAS Kitchen. It's this Jamaican dude, and he has this like I guess it's like a B&B, and like so a guy from Toronto went down and stayed there, and it's like really cheap. Like it would cost you like $60 a night for like a night to stay there is $20, I think, and then to get like a tour from him the next day is $20, and then to get fed the whole next day is $20. So $60 for the whole shebang.
That's dirt
And
cheap.
it's like it's like a dirt house basically, you know what I mean? Like it's Jamaica, right?
It's a real local experience.
Yeah, and like, but anyway, so he has this show. So the guy from Toronto, Matthew, he made this started making this show for him because he was like, you can make money and like raise money to like get a car to go to town and like for a goat and shit, right? Because these were things he wanted at the time. And so what he does is he's got this barrel and he like pounded the bottom of the barrel down so it looks like a steel drum kind of thing. It's
Okay.
concave or whatever. And he like makes a little fire in it, and then he'll just like cook with a pot on top of it and shit. And he'll make all kinds of shit. But then he'll go for a tour and like pick like plantains and like bananas and shit like that.
Yo,
and, like,
fried plantains is
Man.
huge in Jamaica. I
yeah.
always
So
wanted to
then,
try that.
oh man, I had some fire. Actually, that chick that does the dinners and shit.
Yeah.
Fire plantain chips with like
Damn.
guac and shit.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
man,
cool,
man.
fire. So then anyway, so he does all this shit, right? So it's a cool show. Like that's kind of side note. It's a cool show. But the guy from Toronto like helped him make it and shit. And he films it and he brought one of his buddies now and they like put it all together. So sometimes he's like smoking joints and shit and he's got this like fucking like his dreadlocks in a big like sack kind of thing,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And he's just this like fucking, you know, Jamaican dude all
Yeah,
stoned
yeah.
and shit. But anyways, there was a point to this. Ras Kitchen. Oh, something I want to make, man, is he makes fucking plantain porridge. He makes
Mm,
banana porridge and fucking carrot porridge.
Damn.
I was like, man, I'm like, that's fucked up. And then he like made it and shit. And I was like, you know what, man? I'm like, that'd be pretty good. Like even carrot porridge, it'd be like sweet.
See,
like
I'd be worried about carrot porridge. So the weird thing about carrots is, man, is I got
delicious.
I can't eat carrots that
love
aren't
carrots.
organic raw.
Why? Oh man,
Bro,
I used to eat them like
No,
fucking
man.
Bugs Bunny when I was a kid.
Yeah,
They
man.
got pesticides in them. They got fucking like food safe bleach, something in there.
Oh
I'm
man,
allergic to it.
yeah.
So like even peeling it, the vapors will make my fucking lungs.
No
close.
way,
Oh
man.
yeah, man. There's been a couple of times where it's like you like
That's crazy.
start to get like really scratchy. So like I straight up got to eat like certain organic fucking
Oh,
produce because
man.
of whatever the fuck they're spraying on it or they're fucking.
I need
And I
that.
buy we bought organic produce, and man, I found bugs in organic
Goes
produce.
bad quick too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes bad quick. Like I
Say
found,
fucking word.
yeah, way more often than other stuff. But I don't go out of my way to buy organic by any means. But carrots, on the other hand,
I gotta boil.
Rona's boys?
Man,
I have to like
yeah.
steam them and
I'm
get.
good.
or
them.
well, I'm actually good myself. Sorry.
I'll take a Rona. Yeah.
But
Give me
man,
the Rona
you
already,
can
fuck.
you can go and buy carrots,
Thanks,
man,
bud.
and like legit, it's like either a stalk that thick by that long, or like a tiny guy that's like that. You
No,
know,
I was-
and you know what one's gonna taste.
I
man.
was peeling some carrots at the camp, man,
Later.
and they don't have.
You want to tell the viewers how I gave you your lighter and
They
you
don't-
fucking threw it back at me, so it's in my pocket now, motherfucker.
Where is it?
But no, so I was at the fucking camp. I brought like full on like big carrots and everything like in a bag, and so I look and I'm like, you got like a little knife I can like a pair. Nice.
That's sports, baby.
Fucking nice.
That is amazing.
Oh, and one. Man,
Oh.
I didn't even hear it. It must have fucking dropped right in the bottom. But no, man. So I'm at the camp. And we were trying to make stew like a couple weeks ago or whatever. And I'm with the fucking knife. I have this big like fucking like kitchen knife, and I'm trying to be like nice with the fucking
shot that into his fucking
trying to be nice with the fucking with the knife and like, you know, whatever, but I end up just taking huge chunks out of it. It ends up like this weird fucking like octagon shape all fucked up. It still worked. It was good, but
that's all that matters.
But yeah, carrots, man. I love carrots, dude.
I love them too, man. Yeah,
Shit.
Baby carrots.
Oh, I was just gonna say baby carrots with the dip and shit.
Yeah.
Spinach dip.
Eat
Fucking
them all up.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, carrots with spinach dip.
Fucking so good.
Oh,
I do it.
You know what? I'm gonna tell. Actually, so so Bentley, like my son's mother.
Yeah.
So she used to make me fucking spinach dip, right? And like, I didn't know it had mayonnaise in it. And like, I don't like mayonnaise, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I'm like, I love this shit. She's like, you like it? I'm like, yeah, for sure. She's like, oh, I make it all the time and shit, whatever. So
Just
then,
helps the cream cheese texture. That's all.
then I found out there was mayonnaise in it, right? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not eating it. Like, it's just in my head, right? So I'm not eating that shit. I'm not eating it. Whatever. So she's like, oh, I found this recipe that's like no mayonnaise or whatever. So I'm like, oh, fuck, cool. Yeah, I can eat it again. Yeah, whatever. Well, one day I walk out into the kitchen when she was making it. She's like, oh, and she's got the mayonnaise. She's like, oh, and she turns her back like this. And I'm like, no. Obviously, I still ate it after that because it was so good.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I used to be like, no, fuck that.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of mayonnaise either. Growing up, you know, if I knew there was mayonnaise on something, no thanks.
Do you like that
know?
spinach dip though? Oh, we had it actually.
I grew into liking spinach dip.
Didn't we have it that one time at the clock tower on Elgin?
That's probably one of the fucking times I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Legit. Like, it's probably only been within the last few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had some shit. I think it's at. I've seen it at a couple different places, but I think it's Rocky Mountain House and run through there.
Oh yeah.
It's got like artichoke in it and shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, but it's good, I guess. I love their fucking dip.
Artichoke. Yeah. I don't know what that.
I say quarantine was pretty good for my.
I know what it
cooking.
is.
Like.
Stepped your game up a
like
bit.
Being a cook, like for an occupation, like I got back to cooking
Ferda.
at home, and it was like, all right on. You know, I actually like had a good time doing it. For
Yeah,
the
no
first
doubt,
time in
man.
Fucking years.
Right on.
Oh, what's that
That's what
sound?
you got to do to keep yourself sane, I suppose, right?
Are you guys getting a sound?
Are you getting
No.
a sound?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm not getting a sound.
I'm getting a Hummer over here.
Yeah, maybe it's your connection there.
Oh
Headphones.
no, wait.
I've
She gone. Nice, yeah. No, it was maybe it's my fucking. Maybe it's my head. I got a buzz.
Yeah.
But no, it was like almost like whenever you take the fucking the plug out of the guitar and like touch it on shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Styles is having a stroke live on air.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my left toe feels weird.
Yo, shout out to everyone watching.
Yeah.
That's what
I forgot you guys were even here.
Oh,
Holy
man, I always
shit.
end up forgetting.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without you guys, we wouldn't exist.
We'd just be talking to each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We pretty much are.
That was my
we're talking-
joke.
Yeah,
Without a
that's-
reaction, an
We're
action
talking to
doesn't
each other
exist.
For you by us.
Yeah. For you from us. That's right. Yo, so shit.
I got him.
I
You got him.
try to move past it.
I gotta say, we're all
Do
actually
it.
rocking dope shirts right now.
Yeah, actually, you know what I was
Each
gonna say
individual.
earlier? I like your shirt because actually, my son has a fucking hat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's dope.
yeah, he
I like
always
yours.
rocks his Deadpool.
I love yours too, though.
Yeah.
The Disney man.
Goth boy click, gang, gang. If Goon's watching, shout out to Lil Peep
yeah,
and shout out to Goon. I love you.
that's what's up.
That's funny.
He knows what's up.
Oh man, I love this shit, yo.
Speaking of Goon, I actually owe him something. Remember, I opened up that box on here, and he said he wanted some. I said I'd give him some.
Oh wait, but the green
I said
if
I.
it came close to guessing what it was.
No,
maybe? I don't know.
I think I did tell him to guess, but I said that if it was what I thought it was, I'd definitely give him a few.
Okay, yeah, that was the glass tip.
But then I was like, you know what? I'm like,
Oh,
whatever.
man,
Like,
where
whatever
have
it is,
those
I'll give you
been?
some. Oh, they're, it's.
we didn't even have one in our blunt tonight, did
Yeah, I've been lazy. So I got them all at the house and shit. And
Okay.
I actually have like a little bit of alcohol left. like rubbing alcohol that
Yeah.
I want to use it to like clean them
Right. Before you use
because
them.
I'm gonna say it straight up, fucking, because they're from China. So like,
You just never know.
and that's like
It's-
no, like you can fucking call it whatever you want it, but that's like no,
Should be
like
only endorsed
what do you call it?
Canadian
Like that's
products.
no like I'm not being
Racist.
Like
yeah,
racist
like yeah,
scary,
or
I
like
don't
yeah,
know,
I'm not yeah, exactly. You know, I'm not.
Scary.
we
like,
get you. We
prejudice
know.
on that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just that's. I'm pretty sure everyone would do that.
Yeah. Right
Oh,
now,
you're
anyways,
right.
well, people are walking around alone and with masks on and shit.
So I'm watching them
I'm
one
sorry.
by
Like
one.
that just
like-
that makes me laugh. I'm never gonna be able to get over the fact that people driving around in their own cars all by themselves with
Yeah.
a mask on. It just
That's
makes me
like-
laugh
Yeah,
every
this-
I
time.
know.
I actually just saw a meme.
Faces
I just saw a
with
meme earlier, and it said it says something about, you know, like, yeah, people driving in the car by themselves with a mask on. It's like, I want to ask them,
Yeah.
do you lay in bed at night with a condom on? By yourself, sorry. Lay in bed by yourself with a condom on. Like, yeah. Fuck,
that's funny.
sometimes, but
It's like a security blanket.
yeah.
Yeah.
It makes
Actually,
me feel safe.
you ever see
For
the
myself.
movie Frostbite? I think it's called. It's like a snowboarding movie, and like the guy moves to go like be a instructor, I think, at this like mountain.
I don't know.
But it's like a fucking like the guy who's like their boss or whatever. He's like a drill sergeant and whatever. And like they call everybody that lives at the hill like the or the Richies, and then everyone that lives in the town is like the Pories.
Oh, okay.
And they're like super brutal about it and shit. But Buddy ends up like being friends with like the Pories and shit.
Of course.
And so the one guy goes to like bang this guy's like the girl that he's trying to hook up with. So like the one like Richie dude or whatever is like he's like the boss's best friend or whatever. He's like trying to go bang this chick or whatever to like piss him off.
Yeah.
And so he's there and fucking I forget how the conversation goes, but fucking he's like she's like, oh yeah, should I get a condom or something? He's like, oh, I'm already wearing one. She's like, what? And he's like, the coach always says like fucking like be prepared, right? Like always wear a Jimmy, you know, like you never know what's gonna happen and shit, right? But anyway, some conversation ensues and fucking like that was my main story. But some conversation ensues and she ends up getting mad and leaving. And he's like, what am I supposed to do with all this wood? Build a coffee table?
Oh, what was that?
Great
Good,
movie.
man. I've never seen
It's called
it.
Frostbite. It's
Frostbite?
great movie. Yeah.
I've never heard of it actually.
It's a fucking. We used to watch it. Shout out Shaylee and Jesse Greer and anybody else who was there. I'm sorry if anybody else was there, but I think it was just us. Because we'd work at the Peaks and then we'd like go back and stay at Jesse's mom's
Right,
place
yeah.
and fucking.
I feel like other movies have ripped.
we
that
watch.
one
Well,
off.
there's
Out
we watch Out Cold. We
is a
watch
good
Out Cold
one,
and
man.
Frostbite like back to back
Yeah.
and sit there like yeah.
Out Cold is a great fucking.
Man, that was
movie.
fucking. I'm pretty sure that was the first movie I ever saw Zach Galifianakis
Jack out,
in.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets his fucking penis stuck in the fucking hot
Yeah,
tub.
that's right. Yeah, they spin him around in the car. I think
the
that was
car,
the coolest thing.
yeah.
I mean, you'd
Oh,
never be
man,
able to do
yeah.
that, but great
Oh,
idea.
Shit, man. Yeah, that's a great movie actually.
Here.
And the
Yeah, we gotta-
the main actor in that
Build 'em
movie
Yep.
is the main character in Dazed and Confused as well.
No, what? Who?
And Out Cold, like
Out
the
Cold?
main guy. You know, the dude who like chugs the beer, goes down. You know, like the main.
Holy fuck! It is.
Yeah,
Holy
those
fuck!
are
It is.
like-
It's the guy that fucking
yeah,
the coach comes and gives
Yeah.
the fucking paper
The
to
letter
and
to,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
your
paper.
fucking
Yeah,
friends or
that's
whatever.
it.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
that's the same guy, man.
Oh my god,
yeah,
it is.
Yeah, totally. Those are like the only two movies.
Holy
a day.
fuck, man! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
they're
But I
both
totally,
fucking-
I tried to picture the guy from Out Cold. I'm like, wait, which one is he? And then I'm like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, yeah, that guy.
Totally, man. Yeah.
I like that movie. They're all like, give some big speech, and they're all like, yeah, yeah, and everyone's
Yeah.
putting up their fists, and the fucking gay bartender dude who had completely denied being gay, like,
Yeah,
but was
yeah,
super
yeah.
like kind of flamboyant,
Flamboyant.
dude. He goes like
totally.
this, and he's like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he
yeah,
drops
yeah.
his hand like that, and everyone's like, yeah, like,
We're taking this mountain back.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a
Fuck.
great movie. If you haven't seen that movie,
yeah, check it
oh
out.
man,
We're like, yeah, plugging movies. Sorry, yeah, I'm just like,
So
yeah,
here with good
Movies,
fucking streaming
movies.
recommendations.
yeah, for sure. You know what? Actually, I'd like to be able to find both of those movies, Frostbite and Out
Yeah,
Cold,
man, I
on the
have to-
internet.
I have to do
Yo,
that.
there's a good fucking. Oh, what the fuck was that?
yo, the
streaming
opposite of Out
service?
Cold is Grind.
I was just gonna say,
Don't fucking
I've never
at me.
seen it. I've never seen it, but I know like a lot of the jokes. Like, I said I'd call you Wednesday. Or like Jimmy's Jimmy, man.
Jimmy's Jimmy, man. Yeah, Jimmy was off.
This is the he's up. But see, like I said, I know these jokes, but I never saw the movie. Like I saw that Tom Green part. I saw the Tom Green part like recently. I saw it, but like never seen the movie. Even someone the other day, they're like, "Man, I just watched Gone the other day." And we're like, "Yeah," saying all the jokes, and I'm like, just so you know, I've never actually seen the movie. I'm like, I just know the joke. It's man. Because whenever I went to Rockfest a few years ago, I went with like a bunch of good lads. So I went with fucking Jeremy Schnaub though, and like he's just hilarious, and Billy Davis and Devin Gaia, shout out to all those guys. But
fuck, that's an OG crew.
But yeah, it was so funny though, man. So like fucking so Jeremy kept saying shit like that. Like it was anything. Like it'd be like hey man, like you want to go get a beer? He'd be like, I said I'd go get a beer Wednesday. And like we just sit there and like laugh and shit. And then Jimmy's Jimmy, man.
As if you haven't watched
Jimmy's
it all,
Jimmy. No, man. And it's even whenever it came out, I remember being like, oh, I want to see that movie. Yeah. But it was just, I bet you it was like right in the middle of like being a teenager, and I was just like,
no doubt, yeah. Right. You've seen Lords of Dogtown though.
Yeah. I've seen both the Dogtown movies.
The documentary and the movie. Yeah. Great movie.
Crazy though. Yeah. See, I was I fucking was like right into skateboarding.
Yeah.
I guess I still am sort of like I used to though like go right into like watching videos. Like I was like LimeWire, like downloading videos and shit, like videos in punk rock and like
shout
fucking
out to LimeWire. We all gave our computers AIDS.
Fucking big right, time, man.
Yo, you know what song I have in my head right now though? Like I've had it all day.
Spit it out.
Fucking Superman Goldfinger.
Oh, nice. I saw that. Or no, they played at Rockfest. I don't remember if I saw them or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
They have, 99 Balloons. Yeah, I saw them. I think I might. There's a few bands that, because there's so much going on, right? And you want to sleep in sometimes too, and it's like hot when you wake up and you're like, I don't want to see fucking Dropkick Murphys at 10:30 in the morning.
No doubt.
Like,
that's
it's
rough.
like just getting hot. I'm fucking hungover. I fucking didn't win on the wheel on the way over here, and like it's not good. Well, I did. I just didn't win something to get me through the day.
Yeah.
The wheel you can win like energy drinks and water. Did I say this before?
Okay, yeah.
Energy drinks and water and beer and poutine and shit. And it's like you win a poutine and a beer, and it's like I'm not hungry right now, but I'll take the beer.
Yeah.
And then you get in there and you're like, oh fuck, now I gotta buy an $8 water. But actually, I had the luxury of being on top of the hotel. But anyways, point is it's like you go see that, and it's like, okay, man, I'm missing flogging Molly to like go home or go back and like lay down and like smoke a doob and chill for a bit and stay out. We had an air conditioner in the RV.
Yeah, that's.
But like, so you don't. So like, I think with Goldfinger, I think I saw 99 Red Balloons and was like, see it.
Yeah.
Just out.
No, we fucked this.
That would be a hard 2 or 3 days. 3 days, right? There's like the day you show up to set up your camp, right?
Usually you get there on Thursday.
Thursday,
Friday, Saturday, and then leave Sunday.
Sunday,
but
right?
Sunday's like, fuck, man. It's like
a miserable.
Trying to think.
A hard day.
Have you ever gone to the fireworks at Mattaway?
Oh yeah.
And then like try and get out of there. You're like driving out of there.
Actually, I've purposefully not.
I've gone to a Sens game and tried to get out.
Same, so same thing. But imagine that for like, and this was on the way in and on the way out, right? So like we sat in fucking like just sitting there, traffic, like move up a car and shit, like.
In Mattaway though, right? Like
this is like so like but
imagine,
but like now like we're with the fucking Rockfest, like to get into the fucking town, man. You come up to this road and stop at a stop sign. There was like a huge row of cars up to the stop sign, right? So we stopped and like, what's going on? And they're like, this is it. We're like here. Yeah. Well, it wasn't until like maybe an hour or more after that we were like in the fucking place because there's just people coming, right? So you have to like sit there and wait. Totally. But on the way in, it's fun because there's people like walking. They'll get out of their car, right? And walk down the street drinking a beer and shit. We were yelling at people and like
how gross is the grounds though?
Oh man.
I will say so. Like the one year it rained a bunch, and so like so like it rained a bunch on Thursday, and like we were like fucked up, like. sorry, like, whoa, we were definitely fucked up. But I meant like we were fucked up, like we were soaked and shit, and like fucking shoes all muddy and shit. And like I didn't even wear my shoes to the festival the next time. Well, I did. I brought them and then like wore them in the festival. And the one buddy didn't wear them in the didn't bring his shoes to the festival at all. And he was like Bilbo. Well, my buddy calls him Billy Davis. He calls him Bilbo Baggins.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's so fitting.
And so then
we got the same hair actually.
Yeah. So then it was just funny because side note, at the end of the night we were going to the tent to get booze and go back and party, but we ended up stopping at the truck, which was halfway to the tent, and we got booze there. And he's like, oh man, I want to go back and get my shoes, like my feet are all fucked up. And we shine the light on his feet, they're all like swollen and cut up, muddy and fucked up, like they were like hobbit
brutal.
feet. But anyway, short story long is fucking so the Thursday it rained a whole bunch, whatever. So on the Friday when we got there, it was like you were losing your shoes and shit in certain spots. Like it was like super muddy and shit. So like people just stayed around that. But then they were laying down a whole bunch of hay and shit like that.
Good idea.
And yeah, I was like, that's actually a good idea. And then so then by like fucking Saturday, it had like been warm and shit and whatever and dried up. So yeah, like Saturday was pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, I heard the year before I went, there was like where the camping was. I guess they didn't like clean the toilets, or there wasn't enough toilets.
Yeah, you gotta pay.
So it fucking flowed out, and it was all like muddy and shit, right? But then everyone like realized later that it wasn't like muddy; it was like shitty.
Shit, yeah, man. So
like, I don't know. I found like more value going into like a one specific show. And like making a fucking trip around it instead. Like rather than like going to like a festival where I can see all of these fucking bands.
You mean like in a stadium or whatever?
And it's all fucking gross. Yeah, I can just go to a single concert, but like plan a whole fucking trip in a different city.
But I've seen so many bands, man. I've seen so many bands.
That's just the thing.
It's insane, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, man,
but it's not even like gross, man. Like the first year I ruined a pair of shoes. The second year I brought shitty shoes, but it was
I still have my shoes that I went to a festival in BC for like 3-4 days of camping.
Okay, but yeah, that's Squamish though, wasn't it?
Squamish, man.
Different.
That was it wasn't punk rock. It was just like we went there to see Eminem, right? Yeah. But it was like, I guess you could say we saw like Arctic Monkeys.
I saw Wu-Tang there.
Yeah.
I saw Nos there. Like a whole bunch of people, but man, like the camping was rough though. Like
I'm just saying, like the lack of comfortability would like really like take away from my experience, and like the fact that I'm like fucking like forced to be around so many fucking people at a festival.
Man,
like,
it's
not something that I want to be a part of.
You don't get to choose where your tent was either. So ours was you get like this square, right? Like they're all sectioned off, and you get this like letter and number, right? And you go to that, and ours was right across the way from the fucking porta potties. At first we didn't really care, but like, you know, a day in or like 2 days in, like they would come.
We were just pissing right outside our tent.
Oh man, eventually
we brought a garbage can over beside our tent, so we had a garbage can, but so we could piss beside the garbage can.
That's awesome, man. Man, what? So we fucking got it in our heads, like we kind of knew the hype. Everyone was there for Eminem, right? And we were there for Eminem. We're planning on fucking waking up early on the day. Like Eminem was the last day. He was Sunday.
No, you should have
stayed
there
Thursday.
The first fucking concert ended.
Oh no, well they closed, right? Like the grounds would close. You'd have to walk like a mile or two, like from the grounds to the campgrounds. It's actually the walk there and back.
How many
was like the funnest time. You'd
had.
bring all your drinks, man, and just drink them on the way to the campground. You'd be smashed by the time you got there.
Man!
Oh, it was the best time.
How many people had the same idea you had to get up early and fucking go?
300 people.
We were there.
We were there very early, man. But there was, by the time they opened the gates at 1, we were there at 7 in the morning. They opened the gates at 1.
Oh, man.
But I have to go to the back to the night before because we bought adult diapers because we knew we were going to be in that crowd and we weren't getting out.
No way.
So we got adult diapers and
that's dedication right there.
Yeah, that's fucking.
We were
we
were uncertain about how they would be, right? So that night we're drinking beers around our tent. We pull one of them out. We pull one of them out and pour beer all over it, and we throw it in between our tents, and the fucking urinals that I said we were across, right? and we're just sitting there and we're watching people walk by, waiting for someone to notice, right? So like for a good while, man, no one noticed. People were like kind of kicking it and shit. Then eventually, someone noticed, man, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Like, pick it up, man. They're like, "This is a diaper," and man, we just couldn't help it, man. We're dying. Like the three of us are just dying laughing.
Well,
Well, no, not much after that. We died laughing. We're like, like fucking jokes on you guys. It's just beer. We put that there as a prank, right? We told them.
Man, were people walking around to your tents and shit, being like trying to sell drugs and shit?
Oh,
man, we hadn't even had our tent set up, and this guy walks by. He's like, "Fuck!" He's like, "You guys want anything?"
Man.
And I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking like. I guess I'm kind of thinking of it innocently, but I was just like,
Yeah.
what? Like, do we want, like, go get me a couple of fucking beer or whatever, are you the fucking guy?
You're
like,
the guy, yeah.
and he's like,
Fury.
and he's like, acid, mushrooms, coke, or whatever, and I was like, oh, like that, like, I was like, no,
I got my
but it's funny because we actually ended up, kind of side note too, but we ended up meeting these girls on the way back, so they were like, there's like a big, like, fucking whole big field of camping, right? And we were coming like from an angle this way, and these girls were coming from an angle this way, and we kind of crossed paths like just before all the tents.
Okay.
So we're like, oh, hey, what's up? My buddy's like, hey, like, let's do it, right? So we're like, hey, what's up? And we're trying to hit up these girls, and the chicks are like, one of them said, oh, we gotta go like back to our boyfriends or whatever, right? And so I'm like, now like, okay, there's like no chance or whatever. So I'm like, hey, I'm like, can we come? And they're like, I guess. And I was like, well, do your boyfriends have acid? And they're like, ha, like started laughing. They're like, he does. Oh shit, we did not go with them or whatever. Like, we were just like going to bed. It was like early in the morning, so we were just going to bed. But I just was like, well, I'm like, we've already blown it. I'm like, whatever, or not even blown it. They have boyfriends, so I was just like, whatever. Place fucked up line here.
Yeah.
Like, any needles?
Like, festival is the greatest time.
I've never been like, I've been to like Blues Fest before that and shit, and like I've been to like kind of like little things, like outdoor shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, either I have a bad back, but the thing is, man, is like, oh man. Like, and like sometimes though, like for Wu-Tang, like I fucking stood in the back, like I was like, I could go like this, man, and there was no one around me and shit. And there was like a few people around that I was like talking to and shit, whatever. Actually, oh, you were there, never mind. I was gonna say that Marty dude, but but no, so like, I mean, you don't have to like be in there, and like even their setup has like there's kind of a hill at the back of the main stage, so you can kind of like get it. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. Even like, I guess it's different too, because in Montebello, like they literally shut down the whole town,
right?
And like, so you're like walking down the street, and like when you see someone's house, like just walk outside right now, and you see a house on the side of the road, like there's like as many tents as you can imagine fit into their yard, and people standing around like playing guitar, playing games, sick, drinking and shit, right? Like there's people down the street from us out front, they had 3 fucking beer pong tables, and they were challenging people that were walking by and shit.
That's
like
cool, man.
Fucking crazy. So like, I mean, like I guess it's a little bit different because you're like walking down the street and there's like other people walking down the street partying and shit. It's not just like just in the fucking grounds or whatever.
Interaction with people takes so much out of me that like at a certain point, like that would be.
But see, whenever I had the VIP, whenever I had the backstage, it was
actually a lot, man.
The backstage was nice because literally, like, I didn't have to go through the lineup. I didn't have to stand in a bunch of people. I just stood at the back and like on the stage and shit. So I mean, like, that was fucking. I was actually really lucky to get that my buddy gave that to me. But just to be able to do that was like way different, I guess.
Yeah.
But so I know what you mean though, like, because even sitting in the lineup, you know, it's like, I don't really want to be around all these people, and like this guy's trying to talk to me about shit.
It's a whole
like a festival like that. Like, you can't escape the crowd no matter what.
No, it's
and there
true,
is
man.
no escaping the crowd because like when you go to the music, there's the crowd, and when you leave the music, there's the crowd.
Oh no, like, this is really open, man. There's a lot of like, man, fucking
party,
man. I was like laying under a tree by myself smoking weed in the afternoon because there was nothing going on.
Oh yeah,
and fucking there was people in little groups sitting around and shit.
Yeah.
But like,
fucking,
there's like,
that's still too much for me. Even like that's.
I get what you're both saying. So like my experience.
I just really like that shit though. Yeah. I'm like social.
Well, yeah, man. Like so where we were, there was 3 different camp areas, right? So you all, like everyone was sectioned off into their own camps. You could
Yeah.
go into other camps.
There was the VIP at this
Yeah, yeah,
VIP
like-
camping.
Yeah, so, but man, like everyone was partying. Like, so in our camp, we would pass out, but it wouldn't be for like long. There would always be people partying. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like constantly, you would hear people
man.
playing ping pong, like our beer pong.
There's
Sorry.
a song.
See, like,
Always,
I'd rather,
and then-
I'd rather just fucking get an Airbnb in a town and spend a fucking
Hey,
week
man,
there
it
with
take-
one
it
fucking
takes a
concert
lot
and
out of you.
Find other things to do if I want to be social.
But
like, I need that fucking.
I would,
Oh,
man,
man.
I
need that
love
seclusion.
Man, we were going
I
down.
love-
There's like you can go like there's trails all through the bush and shit. Walking.
Yeah.
There's other people walking through the bush and shit.
Yeah, man.
Then there's
the
a
other
spot where
people
you
thing
go.
is what I'm talking about.
Then you
Yeah.
walk and go and
Like, fan
fucking.
of.
Well, then you don't like being in public. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
That's
no,
but like,
no,
but
say-
then
So
like,
no, okay. So basically, so there's certain people like so you are the type of person whose battery gets recharged by being in a social situation,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, but I'm no,
there's
no.
other
I'm just,
people that like Sarzin is saying who by being in a
I
social
gotta
situation
have
and being around
seclusion
people,
daily, like
it just
solo.
drains them. And,
Yeah, no,
and to
for sure.
recharge, they gotta be like
Alone.
solo. Yeah.
No, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, you were just talking about other things, and I
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
saying, like, there's so much other shit that we're doing. Like, there was
Yeah.
like swimming and shit.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like,
We would.
everyone's doing all kinds of shit.
People like, so you could choose to wake up super early and go to the showers for 7, and probably like the first like 3 people per shower head got hot water. But you're paying for the shower though. You
Yeah.
gotta pay like $5 or $10 to get into that shower. So we said fuck that. We went to this like nearby beach area, and man, like pretty populated, but everyone had the same idea. Like everyone was going there with like their shampoo or soap, and that's how they would like bathe, is in the lake. Like I used to do that at the cottage as a kid, right? So fuck,
Yeah.
right? So we got used to that for the week. Like every second day we would go there. So obviously we only did that twice. We were there for like 4 or 5 days. But yeah, like the partying on like the campsite, kind like it you know, like when it was like, I don't know, it's
You
hard
gotta
to
take a
say,
break from
like,
it.
Like so Thursday,
shower in people's
Thursday,
houses there,
it was like
man.
the first night, right? You're like, fuck yeah, we're here, party. Friday night, you know, it was like, yo, we're hyped. We saw Nos and Bruno Mars, like, you know, go back, like, see what's going on. Okay, this is like where we are. I got it. And then Saturday night, got fucking wasted, man. Like, wasted. Didn't care about who was performing headlining because it was Arcade Fire that night.
Yo, don't diss Arcade Fire.
They were good. We went,
no.
we got mid fucking crowd
No.
for their finale. They
No,
shot
I'm
out
saying-
confetti,
I'm
and we
saying-
were just like, man, this is a vibe. Like,
Dude,
we were like,
I
this is
didn't-
amazing.
I didn't like Arcade Fire when they first came out. At this point, they are so fucking good, man.
They've been
I
out for like
love-
20 years.
That's
too.
what I'm saying.
They're
I'm saying
old,
at this
yeah.
point, their music is so fucking good,
Yeah,
man.
but we got trashed that night. Ate some fucking pulled pork sliders. I woke up at like 5 in the morning and went across the road to the urinals and fucking spent like a good hour in there.
Oh,
And then I went back into the fucking tents, man, rolled up all of my weed. And I was like, we're seeing Eminem today. You know what I mean? And I just started rolling weed, man. Joint after joint, waiting for the boys to wake up. And I'm like, I can't fucking...
like at what time?
This is it.
At what time did you start this at? Like 1 a.m.
No, probably like,
Yeah, went
I
to bed at
probably
12.
started rolling at about like 5:36 in the morning.
Holy
Okay, so
shit!
you
Yeah.
spent, like,
See, we were going to bed like
hour.
that, and
Yeah,
then like,
yeah.
and then we get up with like it'd be like, man, it gets hot
Oh
and
man,
shit,
I
right?
probably slept for like 2 hours that night.
Yeah,
because,
we'd
like,
sleep till like 9:30
Oh,
or something,
yeah.
but we were going to bed at like 6 in the morning or
Yeah,
some shit.
man,
like,
we were at the front gates at 7 in the morning.
no, fuck
We were like
that.
the first.
I'm like,
There was only like 2 other people there. There was a father and a son, and then some like
was there
a
multiple
bit of a
stages?
cracked out chick. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
And we were there first, and the next thing you know, like another, couple of people would show up. Then another couple. Eventually, at one point, AS decided I'm gonna go get the boys like some water and some fucking breakfast. Right?
Oh,
He did. Gordo and I solid. He went to like Timmy's, got a bunch of shit. But you know what? He was smart, man. He came back with a full case of fucking water, 24 water bottles. And you know what he did? He's like, I got two friends that are at the front. We came here at 7 a.m. He's like, here's water, guys. Like, everyone take a water bottle. He's like, I got to get to my friends. Can I get through? And just started tossing everybody water, man. And it was hot.
Oh,
man.
that's how he joined up with you later?
Yeah, no, he got, before they even opened the gates, like, he got back to us like 2 hours later, got us both fucking water, an ice cap, and fucking food to eat. Like, I'm not even kidding. And he got right back up in front line with us. And by that point, there was probably a good 100 people there, maybe, or so.
So he was just handing out water to everybody.
To get in front of them, because he was explaining, like, like, anyone would show up and be like, yeah, I got friends ahead. Like, let me get to them, right? Like, okay, butter. You know what I mean? Like,
and
that's
like
the
this
thing.
guy's just like, yeah, I'm handing water out to everybody.
He was doing people solid, so they're like, yeah.
You can't be like, yeah, I'll take that water, but fuck you, you're staying there.
Okay, this is exactly where I wanted to be.
Yeah, either way, he got back to us, and man, when you got through, you had to do the security check, right? Like Blues Fest and all that. But
yo, man, they
when
took
you
my
got
licorice.
beyond that,
Took my fucking licorice,
No
man.
way,
I swear
man.
to Jesus, yeah.
That's
They took your
brutal.
licorice?
Took my. Well, I shouldn't say they took it. I had to throw 2 of them away, and I ate 2 of them really quick.
Oh, man.
So whenever I swore to Jesus, there I was like, well, I better tell the full truth.
Yeah.
They didn't like take it from me, but they were like,
right in front of you.
yeah, empty your pockets, and I was like, can I eat them? They're like,
That's
yeah.
whack.
So I ate 2 and 2
Oh, you
together.
should have. You should have just been like.
I was like, I wanted a fucking snack.
we had.
Oh, they were just
we
sitting
had-
like in my pocket, like by themselves, like.
Pre-COVID, just give people fucking snacks.
Oh, they were like all dusty and shit. There was like lint and shit on them. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
I
great.
remember
Wow.
giving
But yeah, man, we got through there, and it was literally like a sprint
I bet.
to that main stage, like to the front.
People
and-
probably body checking other people.
Man, and we got there, and then it was about
How many more hours?
about 15 more hours.
Holy fuck.
Legit, like all day.
I would not.
That's
Oh
Wait,
my
man,
God.
we waited
I'm not
17
sitting there.
hours
I'm
total.
not
So
sitting there,
it
man.
was
No, I'm
7
not
to
waiting there.
1, and then 1 till 9, and then Eminem came on.
I'd rather.
And we were
very
front
much-
row the whole
Not
time,
sitting
and man, honestly,
I mean, if
don't
it's
know-
worth it to be front row
I'll
the whole
never
time,
do it again. I will never.
that's a long
I'll
fucking
never
time
do
to
something
wait.
like
Once
that
in a
again,
lifetime
man.
experience, good for you. Man.
You'll
Like,
never
I'm happy you have
understand,
that.
man, what it feels like to be pressed up against a fucking barricade
Sucks.
with fucking 60,000 people behind you, man. You know what I did at one time, and I thought I was smart doing it.
I think that's what a
I stuck
panic attack feels like.
my ass out and put my hands against the barricade and
Talk dirty to me.
pushed out as hard as I could.
That'd be-
And then I turned around and I was like, back the fuck up to 60,000 people. Think about that for a second.
Okay, Bisho.
Yeah, they're all like, yeah. Sorry, bro. None of them smashed. World
Nothing
fucking
smashed.
record.
The fucking boneyard I have over here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I did that. And then I turned around and I was like, you know what? That was probably the most pointless thing I've done in my life.
It might have got you a little bit of room for like
Yeah.
a second
little
or
bit,
two.
Oh
yeah.
man, I went to. It definitely wasn't as big of a crowd, but it was one of the side stages
man.
at Rockfest, and
Yeah.
it was. So I was there with my buddy that I went with, Don. Shout out Don, Pizza Don.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Don?
But he. So we went together, right? And yeah. And
Don of pizza.
yeah, there is an actual like Pizza Don apparently
should
in,
get pizza
in New York
after
for sure.
Fucking stuff.
Ottawa Pizzeria. But anyway, so then shout out Pizza Don. So me and him went and saw it's not important, but I just wanted to remember. We went and saw something because me and him were like I don't know if I want to say bonding or whatever, but me and him were like, you know, like relating on like certain bands and shit. Like he's really into like old school punk rock and shit, and like certain shit that I
Yo,
listen
he
to
showed
and
me
stuff.
some really old school punk.
Every time I go in, he's wearing a shirt. I'm like, oh, nice shirt, man. He's like, yeah, I saw them. Like, I fucking hung out with them. Like, yeah, like, buddy's girlfriend gave me a BJ and shit. Like, not really, but like, he just always has a story, right? Like, oh, I saw them and like this happened and shit. But anyways, and he's the one that hooked me up with the pass to go in the VIP because he knows people and shit. But anyways, this is could have been a shorter story, but
No.
so we went to the side stage. Actually, it was rest in peace Tony Sly. It was the Tony Sly stage. They had 2 of them before. Now there's one. Any motherfucking way. So me and him went to the show and we saw the one show. I think it was on Thursday night. And so like he was like his shoulder's all fucked up and shit. So if he like stands for a while, his shoulder gets all fucked up. Which seems weird, but I guess like you're like posturing up and shit,
Dude,
right?
it's my shoulder.
So-
It's like the fucking muscle.
So he left and he didn't want to see. I think it was Propaganda I was going to see, and he didn't want to see them, right? And so like I stood off to the side and I was having a smoke, and this dude, actually, you know what, man? I wish I could fucking remember this guy's name, like Martin or some shit. But like he came up to me and asked me for a smoke and a lighter and shit. So like I hooked him up, and the funny thing is he was there to see the band that I was like seeing right now, like the next band on. But he said like that's it, like, you know, he's gonna check out the festival, but like that's what he's there for. I was like, really? Like, holy shit, that's like Die Hard, you know? He's like, yeah, like, you know how like Todd broke his foot? And I'm like, who? And he was like, oh, like, well, they were on tour and like Todd's the bassist or whatever. Like, I'm just making this part up, but like he was saying, like, I'm just making the name and shit up. I mean,
part of the band
but
or
he was
whatever.
like, saying these details and shit. I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, and like Kevin just had a baby and shit. I'm like, I don't know these guys. Like, I was like, I don't follow them that much. And he was just like, oh, they were just on tour, and like I saw them on this date, and like blah blah blah. And he was just going on about them, like he was like
literally
fixated
the most
on them.
diehard fan.
Yeah, well, and he told me too, he was like with a bunch of people, like he came with people or whatever, and like so I was like, oh, like you got like friends here, and he's like, oh,
literally the fan club.
he's like, well, like I came like with some people, but like basically he was telling me like he didn't really have any friends, and then he added me on Facebook, and I remember looking at it and being like, oh shit, like.
He wasn't lying.
But yeah, no. So then, anyways, short story long. Sorry, I shouldn't have got into that. But anyway, so he was like, "Yeah, I'm here to see them. Like, you want to come into the crowd? Like, the show is starting and shit." I'm like, "Yeah." So me and him get in the crowd. Like, there was like not a whole lot of people. So we just sort of pushed through. And we were like right up at the front and shit. And then it went off, and I'm like, "Yeah, fucking that cool. Yeah, like this is awesome. Yeah." And everyone's like moving and shit, and I'm like, fucking yeah. So then I start like, you know, like moshing and like dancing and shit, and then all of a sudden, man, it just hit me, and I was like I mean, like at the same time I was doing physical shit, but like nothing crazy. But then I just started like, oh my god, like, I can't fucking breathe, man. My chest started hurting and shit. I'm like, man, I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm like, excuse me, and like everyone just like
it gets
moved out of my way.
You're up there, man.
And I went out on the side of the crowd and watched the show from there, smoking cigarettes, because I was like, oh my god, man, like what the fuck's wrong with me?
I can't breathe. Let me lay the dirt.
Yeah, well, fuck. It's funny. I used to always say I used to fucking. I did a lot of work down the road around the mall there and shit.
Oh yeah.
At the fucking like all the housing around there and shit, and like for like a couple years in a row at the same like little area and shit. But fuck. Now I forget how that relates.
Moshing and shit.
Oh, smoking on the fucking yeah. So we would like do some shit, like we were always doing windows and stuff, right? So like in the morning, the boss would show up and be like, "Here's all your fucking supplies and shit," and there'd be usually like 5 windows, and so then we carry the windows, and we'd like one man the windows. They're like pretty big windows. So with me and my cousin, we'd like carry that shit in and like put them down and shit, put them in the rooms and stuff. And we come out and be like, pull out our smokes and light up a smoke. And like our boss would always tease us and shit. He's like, you guys do this like physical work or whatever. You're like, oh yeah, like move all this shit. And you're like, oh, well, let's have a smoke.
Yeah. Get my lungs back.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah.
But I guess that's just the way it fucking works.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I've been doing.
Man, I I'd never experienced a real mosh. Like I did a mosh at Tech 9, like little ones, you know, I don't even know if MGK, but
I've been in some crazy shit.
yeah. So I
got pissed like a motherfucker. What time? What are we at?
Oh, dude, we're late.
2 hours?
Oh, we're probably
It's 11,
approaching
2.5
almost
hours.
3. Yeah.
3 hour.
But real quick, since we're talking about
Should I go quick?
stage, yeah. We'll keep going. I really fucking wish you were here for this one though, man. We went to see A7X like last year, right?
Wasn't I not there for that?
You were there for that.
Yeah.
But then like this year I fucking went to see or I guess it was a year ago this month. Sorry. So 2 years ago we saw.
Yeah.
Last year I saw Godsmack fucking without you, and I fucking really regret that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it after though if you really want to. I think I already have though, to be honest. I don't know if you remember. There's reasons, and I couldn't. I couldn't control it because shit was already out there, right? Like I couldn't control it.
Yeah, no, dude. Listen, I'm pretty sure I tried to get tickets to that Godsmack show, and like I couldn't even get the time off work for it.
Right.
So yeah.
So, anyways, man,
Honestly,
I was there in the 100 levels.
I am not.
Had seat tickets, right? Like
I'm down
I
with C tickets. We went to see A7X and C tickets.
Yeah, but we didn't do this, man. So Tanner and Tanner was there. I like the whole night we're joking. Oh man, like someone go jump the barricade and like run into the mosh or like you know what I mean.
Oh, we joked
like,
about that at
like
Avenged
just
Sevenfold, too.
yeah, right. Like just joking, and then eventually, man, I looked at Tanner and I'm like, man, I'm looking around this whole arena right now, and like the side we're on, yeah, there's a barricade there. I was like, but look at the far side, man. Fucking walks right down onto the floor pit. So I looked at Tanner, man. I'm like, I don't even fucking care, bro. Like,
so you just walked around?
let's do it, man. Yeah. So Tanner and I walked around the whole stadium to the far side. We went down those stairs, man, to the general admission. There's a lady there, a red coat. Like, she was the ticket lady, making sure like you had tickets to be in there. And then we're waiting and waiting. And she starts talking to these people, and there's a couple people that are going down already. And I'm like, man, this is it. So we go down behind these people, and all of us just walk behind them. She's like talking to this person, right? We all just
going to
walk by. The
big
show's
group or
already been
whatever?
on. Like the first set's already been on. It was fuck, who was it? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, I'll come back to it. But we get down there, man, and for the start of Godsmack, man, and I was like, oh, dude, the pyros and shit. But I got knocked down twice in the mosh pit, like literally flattened, man. Like I was just jumping, bouncing into people, and 2 times, bro, like literally off my feet onto my shoulders.
Because
like.
people don't know how to mosh.
Yeah, and I was like,
I don't
okay,
mean you, I
I was
mean,
like,
like,
okay, there's a
idiot.
dick in here, right? Like legit. So the first time it happened, okay, Tanner came, and this other dude, like, did like a typical like mosh thing, like back away, like this guy's down, give me your hand, pick me up. All right, so we're going around again, and I get hit from behind again, man, and someone flattens me, and I know it's because I'm like jumping and I'm jumping into people, and I'm like really letting loose, right? And I knew that like someone was like.
But you like really
Taking
really
advantage
your
of
body weight around. You're not that heavy.
I'm not that
body.
heavy, and I'm
No.
throwing my body weight around, so I'm
You're
like
probably bouncing off people, eh? Like,
Oh no, man! Someone put like you. I could tell. Bro.
Okay.
I've played hockey and everything.
no, I'm
like-
talking about you're probably just bouncing off of people though.
Oh, but I wouldn't bounce off someone and fucking fall like you know what I mean, like onto my
Well,
shoulder.
it's just because
No,
people
I'm
go
saying,
so
like-
hard.
Yeah,
It's not.
so-
It's
No, I'm
not
saying-
like
I'm
a
saying- that's
fucking
what I'm saying, though.
competition.
It's
It's just
not
like
like you're running people through. You're just bouncing off.
Yeah,
people.
yeah, that's and,
Yeah.
and so someone was definitely like trying to knock me over because they could tell I'm light and whatever. And I knew it was this one dude, man. So I turn around and I get up and I'm like, man, I'm just trying to have fun. Like you don't got to be like that, right? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's just standing there.
Oh, what a fucking girl.
I'm like, oh, bro, like it's pretty obvious or whatever, right? Like, but. I don't know, man. It was probably the best experience. I told Tanner, I'm like, man, I've never been in a stadium mosh pit before, right? And fucking, I did
Fuck,
it.
now that you
I
say
did
that,
it.
man,
I
now-
got it done.
fuck. Now that you say that, I don't think I have.
No, man, yeah, it's a whole
Not
other world in
stadium,
there.
but
Yeah,
like you know, I've been in
inside.
like the festival, like
Yeah.
Rock Fest.
I did a
and then I've
little
been in,
bit,
like-
not quite like that.
like, say, like,
I
Barrymore's.
was in front of Eminem, but
Barrymore's when I saw No Use for a Name.
yeah,
Like
okay,
that
yeah.
type of shit, you know, like that's not even
That's,
like
like-
huge.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
then,
it's, like,
and then yeah, like I
personal
said, like
shit, right?
festivals or like Rock Fest, and then, but never a stadium. Now that you
Yeah.
say that, yeah.
It's pretty intense for sure.
Fuck, man, I didn't
The
see.
pyro
I didn't
is, like,
actually
I
get
could
to
feel the
physically. Well,
heat.
that's what I was gonna say. I didn't get to physically see, Ramstein,
Okay,
but I saw them from. I was in Buddy's fucking RV. Like, he always gets a spot right. Like it's like a block from the front gate,
okay.
and so like the front. So like
you can see
the
it.
stage is facing
Yeah.
this way out of the stadium, then you go up a hill to where we're parked, and like I'm sitting facing out against this guy's house, so like the music was bouncing off the guy's house,
Yeah.
and you could see like lights and shit and whatever. So I saw it from there. Basically, we were partying there. It was like 12 at night, and I was like done with the festival. But everybody said, and that's apparently why they went bankrupt, just because they had to pay Ramstein.
I heard
Like
And,
that.
and, and they
fucking
used
bet.
they
I
used
heard
the
it was
next
a-
year,
a-
so that was 2017. That was the first year I went. Well, apparently they used 2018's budget to help pay for Ramstein and a couple other bands they had.
Oh, so
then the
means
next
they were
year
behind.
they were
and they weren't making good profits off.
Well, no, and the bracelets even say on it says the beer money. Money goes to the next year's bands. So basically, they're saying buy beer and you'll have good bands next year.
Right.
But in my mind, man, like I bet you most people have the idea of like let's get fucking hammered and go to the festival.
No, they should
because there's not
they should be putting up their own money to pay for the artists, and then like trying to like make the money back.
That's hard though.
Everything else.
That's hard though, man. Like
but they would have done that originally, right? They would have had to do that originally.
Yeah.
To get there, right? To get the money,
That's right.
or like not to get the money, but to like.
No, they
would have had investors, right?
They probably started off paying Diddley Squad.
But either way, so I met the dude who actually like made the fucking festival and shit. Like, yeah, a couple of times while I was there. But
I'm saying Rockfest didn't have that big of names to start off with, though.
Oh fuck yeah, they did, man.
It had a couple, but it didn't have the one like the 2017 that you were talking about, the one that made them go bankrupt. Was such a star-studded lineup.
Not even really, man. Like the next year was even better. Yeah, like more people, like more like a flood of it was like the majority was like awesome bands.
I know.
But either way, even before that, like man, they had Blink-182 before that and shit.
Man, but
like,
that might have been the year Linkin Park as well. One year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, they headlined one year, and that's the year I
saw Stone Temple Pilots.
Man, that might have even been the year. I don't know.
But
there's the year Linkin Park went there though was the like I was really looking at Rockfest like almost for the first time I think, and I was like, man, this is a festival I gotta fucking go to, you know what I mean? And honestly, dude, like
Linkin Park is the one band that I'm really pissed off.
Me too, dude. Me too. Like I've forever.
Well, when they first started Rockfest, though, it was just a fucking just a concert in a gymnasium.
Yeah,
like it was just like shitty little bands and shit.
Like minus like bands that I wasn't old enough to go and see at the time. Like I was old enough to go and see Linkin Park, and I never did.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're definitely like. Next to Eminem, man, Linkin Park was it for me. I got like Avenged Sevenfold would have been right under Linkin Park.
Fuck, I want to see NoFX, man.
Man, they go to Rockfest.
I've never seen them.
Oh, really?
They were at Rockfest the year before I went.
They were like almost
2016.
Yeah, they were, man.
Oh man, they played twice. I know that for sure.
I follow them. And,
Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys was there the first year I went, 2017.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't perform like or anything. He was just like there.
What do you think? Can they go the whole podcast without pissing or what?
I don't know, man. We're probably
I think you're the only one for sure.
I'm like holding on by
oh fuck! I don't know. Is that a sign?
Yeah.
No, is it a sign? Are we done?
All right, motherfuckers.
It's been 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out with us this fucking long.
It's been a night.
All of you guys. Man.
I got a couple things to say real quick.
You Tom Prophet.
If you want to get some merch, go to 4gaudiopodcast.com and hit up the merch. Go to Redbubble and find our shirts and buy that shit.
Yeah.
We got shirts and fucking sweaters and all kinds of fucking shit on there. There's mugs and fucking jugs and whatever you want.
Masks.
Nah, there's no jugs. There's masks too. We got the masks and shit. But if you don't do the internet shit, you can hit us up directly. And we got a bunch of shirts on hand. We got the ones with the faces. And we got the ones with the 4G. We got black and orange in both. Hit us up. Gang. I want to thank Sarzin for coming.
Yeah,
man, anytime.
Much love, brother.
I think I'm out, actually.
Yeah, me too. We'll fucking finish this up. So
let's do this live.
I don't think I could even drink another Rona here yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Are
you know
paying
what
attention?
yeah.
Are you paying attention? Watch and learn.
I bet you I could even tell you where it's from now, too.
Can you?
Undercover Brother.
Yeah, that's it.
Brother. All right, yeah, that was
cheers to all you guys.
Special handshake,
and girls.
Inside joke that you'll never fucking get.
That's right.
Probably
never.
Yeah.
Y'all just have to keep watching the podcast.
Yeah. 4G Audio Podcast with the Basement Weirdos. We out here.
Hey.
Peace.
Catch you in the next one.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
Ferda.
Fucking right.